All right, everyone. Hello. Hello, everybody. Everybody, can you hear me? Can you see me? It is I, your dad. Am I visible? One's in the chat if I'm loud enough. Twos if I'm not loud enough. I got a yes from Melanie. Okay. I got a yep from Midwest Nice. Hello. Okay, excellent. Percocent. All right. Well, we don't need to do that anymore because now I know. Excellent. Did you have a good weekend? Is everybody happy? Is everybody out of jail and looking good and feeling good? Loud and crystal clear, says Nicolette. Oh, yeah, I can do this. Yes, I will show you all. Hello. Look at your sisters and brothers. Proctor. Man, Chloe, Proctor is such a dippy. I got 1 minute, I think, before I can cuss. And maybe what do they do? Do they ban my life? I don't know. But I'm going to say words. But 50 seconds till I can say titties. You guys know what it is. Yes, my cheeks are pretty rosy today because it is very hot. It is very, very hot outside. And also, I have psoriasis. So when I put blush on, it just comes out as bright red. It's excellent. Thank you so much for saying they are pretty. You are pretty. Hello, good to see you, Jamie's Cowboys. Good to see everybody. Feeling good, not looking good, says Elizabeth. Oh no, I bet you look fine. You look fine. It's fine. I will cuss. And I will say this. Percocent can say it for me. I will. I promise the Rose Gardener. Cussies will be had today. Okay, 2 minutes. Shitty titties. Fuck shit damn. Fuck. Damn. Bitch shitty titties. There we go. Hello, altruistic Arctic Fox. That's a cool name. All right. Hello, Venerama. I like your kitty. I like your shitty kitty. Fuck shit damn. I love a good sailor mouth too. You look beautiful, Donna. I like aggressively giving people compliments. You're so fucking pretty. Hello. I love the shitty cherries. Weather is so bizarre. 36 tonight in Idaho, says Rachel. I want to be in Idaho. Never thought I'd say that. I want to be there. It is 142 in Texas. I don't know. It's so hot. Once it gets over 100, I just stop counting. I'm like, well, we're all dying. Yes, the Scrunchie. Let's talk about ScrunchieGate, you guys. The biggest fallout from the press conference is the amount of professionals and news organizations and people who are now realizing that that was a little crazy and that maybe they shouldn't have supported it or gone along with it. And I'm not talking about Dr. B. I think that guy was duped. He had to be. I did my homework, like y'all said. Let's go in order because my thoughts are scattered, and I tried to organize them today. But first, I want to open with an apology to Dr. B. And it's not necessarily for anything I said. I don't take anything back or anything I did or anything I feel. It's an apology just on behalf of the community of people here who lashed out or gave him hell. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I did give him a little hell. I gave him a little shit because I didn't know anything about him. And you know what? Him supporting it is different from him getting duped, right? I am under the impression, whether he's comfortable saying it or not, I'm going to draw as John Ray would say, draw whatever inferences you want. Okay, the inference I want to draw based on his mood. I behavioral analyzed the behavioral analyst. He looked like he was duped. He looked uncomfortable. He looked like he kind of wasn't told a lot about the purpose, or perhaps he was misled or misled, however you want to say it. It's spelled the same. And I had that little external meltdown, or existential meltdown, I should say. Wrong word, dummy. I had an existential meltdown over whether it's misled or misled, because I've heard both and they're spelled the same way. What do you think? We're talking about the Lisk case. Where's Chloe? We're talking about the Lisk case. And yes, I love Dr. Gary too now. And it's because of you, because before I think, yes, I don't think he should have been up there. I agree. And that's kind of where my credulity is strained, if you know, you know, is that I feel like perhaps a lot of us, especially people like me who, here's the thing, I love behavioral analysts. I study them too, but I kind of stop at the point where I need when I'm looking into things. And when I was in classes, we actually didn't look over Dr. Gary Bricato's work. We looked over Ann's for sure. And I found out like his affiliations and what he's done. And he is a prestigious motherfucker. That dude does a lot. He's written a lot of literature. He has helped in some amazing cases. And so going back, rewatching the presser about 9 more times, and then doing what he said, I wish people would have paid more attention. And to be fair, maybe I didn't give him the attention the first 2 times even. And he said to what I said. So I went through and I picked out every single line by line that he said. There were maybe 2 or 3 that I didn't agree with, and I think they were a little irresponsible. However, in context, if he was told that this was all what it was presented to be, if he was misled the way we were, I can see why he would still feel the need to say those things that he said, which I think were wrong, right? Does that make sense? I think that if he had been told the truth, I don't think he would have made that choice. You feel me? I also think that nothing he said was really wrong. He was talking about everything in the context of if this is so. And he was kind of giving us background, right, on offenders that fit the category of Rex, which is why I think he was also trying to divert away from Victoria. So I appreciated that. I still think it was a little irresponsible, some of the things that were said within the context of what John Ray was trying to say. However, I don't think he was told. In fact, he said himself, and I'm not going to quote him because I don't remember his exact words, but I did watch him on the interview room, and he did say some things that were like, you know, basically saying I wasn't trying to say what it looked like via what John Ray was trying to say. So basically, you know, I do think he was a little duped. And I just hope that nobody bullied him or anything, you know, because I think that, you know, people make mistakes. And even if it wasn't a mistake, because really what he said was, you know, his opinion based on his job and within the context of a specific offender, he wasn't trying to apply it to Victoria. And he did make that clear. He said one sentence of that. The rest of it did, you know, standing there next to John Ray with all that shit behind him, that kind of shows you how background matters. Now, over here, if we're looking at my background, holy shit, clearly I have a head full of too many thoughts. It's scattered. I'm scatterbrained, you know, but I do think that whoever did, yeah, I did watch the latest. They really did clear it up. And I think that what they cleared up was what I suspected, is I think he was kind of duped. And I think that it was very, very carefully kind of calculate the way that John Ray talks about how calculated and careful Rex was. As I go through more of the findings and start really picking it apart, because I did go through it. I gave it a couple of watch throughs. I pulled whatever OSINT I could for you. We did the first video. Then I found a little more. I showed you that one account that was pretending to be Vicky. I'll show you it again in a little bit. That was more. Well, then I kept going. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit. Now I'm starting to see this is actually a little more calculated than I thought, which means that I don't really know if it's like more dubious or if it actually benefits John Ray. Like it was, perhaps he was due. I don't know, but I'll show you some stuff tonight that's interesting. And you can be the judge. Well, in the words of John Ray, you make the inferences that you want to make. But basically, I do think, yeah, I would love to talk to him. That guy, you know, him and Mike King, since we're going to talk about Dr. Cruel, it seems that they've both done quite a bit for cases that involve really sick fucks. Like Rex and Mr. Cruel. I might have said Dr. Cruel. I meant Mr. if I said Doctor. Yeah, and I don't think that Dr. B is bullied. You know what I mean? I don't think he's easily bullied either. I think that he stood up for himself, right? And I think that he was also very professional about not being rude to John Ray. When he could have been pissed. He could have lashed out, threw John Ray under the bus and made him look like a fool. But instead, he was very classy, and I just think that if I could go back and maybe take back anything, it would be when I said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Because I should have known. Because Dr. B's a beast. They should call him Dr. Beast. He's a beast in his field. So yeah, I do, and I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. Listen, I'm wrong for not knowing who the fuck Dr. Bricata was, because first of all, and also I stand by my eyebrow comments, and I was not making fun of him. To the people who came at me for that, I said I want his eyebrow. I like his arches. He's got 2 rock eyebrows. What more could you fucking want in life? That's all I'm saying. So don't get my words twisted on that either, everybody. I liked his eyebrows, and you could tell that he's seen some shit too. I like how expressive he was. Here's the thing though, like I could condemn all of them because again, the whole vibe of that press conference was off, but I'm not going to, because who the fuck am I? And also, like, I do think he was misled. I think he was. Yeah, it really is the birth of a conspiracy. It was hard to rewatch so many times. And like, yeah, he looked shook. Yeah, I don't think Bev is ever going to be fair, Chloe. It was embarrassing. Yes, Mike is Mike King on Profiling Evil. That's it. I like that dude with his geographical mapping. He's very, very good. In the Mr. Cruel case, though, man, there's a little drama going on there. I don't even know if I should bring it up, but I might. But there's this one guy who, like, he did a shitload of geographical mapping in the Mr. Cruel case, and he did it back in like 2018 or 2019 and even prior. However, so did the newspapers, a lot of them in Melbourne. So did the police. So did the FBI in America that was assisting, including Mike King. But I believe it was 2022, a piece came out on Mr. Cruel in Australia with this chick who I think is on 60 Minutes there. I don't know, but they have the best 60 Minutes in Australia. And if you're an Aussie or an NZ or listening, please get in the chat and tell us about how great your 60 Minutes are, because they are really great and compelling. And yeah, so basically, yeah, that cannibal story is insane. That pissed me off. But yeah, basically Mike King did a lot for the Mr. Cruel movement, but so did this one online guy. He kind of reminds me of the dude who does well, I don't know what gender, but the person who does Catching Lisk, who hopped in the chat. Hello, nice to meet you. Love your work. The amount of data and mapping and organization, it's like a person who works at fucking Container Store. Like, you got to have a special brain to be able to organize and group. I'm not very good at organizing so much as I am at talking and like looking and nerding out. But when it comes to organizing everything and making charts and graphs and stuff, you have to be special to do that. You really gotta be organized and careful. There's a guy who runs a site that I'll show you later, and it's a Melbourne born person. That's fun to say, Melbourne born. And they run a Catching Lisk what do you call it? Catching Mr. Cruel site that is apropos to, or akin to, if you will, the Catching Lisk site. Like, the amount of information, the data, the mapping, the charting, the graphs, I love it. And there's a little drama because Mike King stepped in with geographical mapping with technology, basically a lot of really good digital forensic technology, presented it on a show as it should have been. And of course they get the same results because, you know, the data doesn't lie. And I feel like maybe the guy who made the website's a little irritated, feels plagiarized, you know. But Mike also had been working on that for a long time, but also so had the paper, and these maps had been out there. However, you can't deny the guy who made the site put in a ton of work, but also Mike did too. So I don't know what's going on with that, but they all presented excellent data. They all have great resources online. So we're going to eventually, as we do more lives about Mr. Cruel, which we will, and maybe full episodes, definitely full episodes, because that's a hell of a case. We're going to show you all of that and talk about that, and not so much the beef as what the beef brought forth. What did the beef bring to the table? Did the beef bring bacon to the table? Let's keep going down. But yes, I want to talk about ScrunchieGate. The number one thing I saw was people, yeah, he does have fucking great eyebrows. Dr. B, if you're out there, teach me. Teach me the eyebrow method. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry I didn't know who you were. I know now. I know now, daddy. You're bae. All right? We got you. We feel you. You were misled. It's fine. I get that you can't say that. You're too classy. You probably hold your finger up when you drink your Bricata wine. But I'm telling you, you're Dr. Beast to us now. From now on, he's Dr. Beast, dude. He's Dr. Beast. Yeah, you're talking Bojangles and Chloe are talking about the Karen Reed trial, right? Someone said, kill me. Was that Lally? Jesus. If I were a sidekick, and you can't be because they're not real, I'd say that Dr. B and JR were probably engaging in a long convo about hypotheticals and intellectual discourse, and JR ran right off with it wearing a pimp hat and snakeskin loafers. Snakeskin is so expensive. Why can't he get a better scrunchie? Like, not better, but a newer one if he's fucking around with snakeskin. That's my first question. But I agree with you. John Kelly, profiler, his Delphi shit was dope. That guy is, I like his accent a lot. I have to admit, it's a little, background music bothers me. If you were around when I was talking to Melanie about Ruby Frankie, background music bothers me because when it's too intense, it can really make everything cheesy. And sometimes when John Kelly was on with that Dark Minds guy, I can't handle those clips because it's like dun, dun, dun. And then they have like a fucking hawk flying in the back. It's too much. But if you just sit down and listen to his YouTube channel, oh my God, that man has so much to offer. He's very smart. Yes, Percosa, 60 Minutes Australia is ahead of the game. It's ahead of the game. Again, we're going to spend like the first 20, 25 minutes just talking to y'all today. And then we're going to get into this. Raul, is that the guy who catching lists, dude? Okay, that's Raul. Okay, hello. I've heard people say his name and mention him before, and I wasn't sure if that's who runs it. That dude put a lot of work into that shit. Yeah. Let's keep going. We're going to keep going. I'm going to show all y'all shit. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Yeah, he did. The fact that he had to have one and then they turned the comments off. Holy Christ. You know, people were up his ass. And that's why I kind of wanted to start with, listen, Dr. B, Dr. Bay, Dr. Beast, you're cool in my book, man. You're cool in my book, dude. Like, I think I forgive me for not knowing who the fuck you were, sir. Because I should have. Damn. In fact, we might have studied his shit in school and I just didn't get the last name. Who knows? But the dude did a lot. Anyone who Anne is good with, I'm good with. I trust that bitch's judgment with. In fact, I even take it back. I'm not even going to say that bitch's. I say it endearingly and lovingly. I'm going to say that nosy Rosie's judgment. She's nosy. She is good. That's investigation psychology, bae. Like she's a mind hunter. I trust her. Hey, listen, don't apologize to your father. I'm just glad you're here. I'm just glad you're here. By the way, if you wonder why I call myself your dad, it's because I got a little goofy on live, started out with a metaphor. It grew. You know, my ego got the best of me. I started a cult by accident. And now you're in the cult. And I'm sorry, but the second you hit play, you're indoctrinated. I'm sorry. But listen, don't worry about it. We don't do freaky shit. We're just a fun cult. And at the moment, actually, we need to talk about this. This is second on my list. I'm actually going in order. Someone has presented the idea of a temporary coven, maybe switching from cult to coven in light of the Free Vicky movement. And also, I want to go back and say, ScrunchieGate, don't come at me with stop focusing on a scrunchie. Listen, if you don't want me to focus on it, don't wear it like a badass. All right. If you show up in a cowboy hat with a furry butt plug on it, don't think I'm not going to talk about it. If you have a fedora and a cane, don't think I'm not going to talk about it. If you don't want us to talk to you and talk about you being a badass, don't dress so badass. And I make fun of the scrunchie, but I secretly love the scrunchie because it's rose. But I don't like that the rubber band looks fucked up. Someone did point that it looks like one of those you got to toss. We got to get him a new one. Is it illegal to send a man free scrunchies? I don't know. Uh-oh. Who caused the comments to be turned off? I got super chats and I'm figuring that out now. Maybe the scrunchie has to take a second place for replacement if he still has payments due on the snakeskin. This is a good point. Maybe the snakeskin loafers ate into the fashion account. We make sacrifices, don't we, Dream of a Hive? Sometimes you have to sacrifice your snakeskin loafers for the scrunchie, and sometimes you have to flip it around. On my silly goose in the picture for this thumbnail, he has a rose scrunchie, and that is to honor John Ray, not to bully John Ray. We love a good scrunchie here. So ScrunchieGate is this an insult to point out that he's dressed like a badass? No. But listen, even Melissa and Joan would say, hey, that outfit's great, but that purse is shit. So the scrunchie's great, but the rubber band, the old scrunchie, that's what's shit about it. And maybe we need to get him scrunchies. Maybe whatever you donate tonight, I'll buy him some scrunchies. Huh? Maybe. What do you guys think about that? I suspect it might have been my comment that caused the comments to be turned off. Oh dear. I don't think anybody's commented that, right? I mean, I'm up here saying all kinds of stuff. 100% talking shit all the time. I don't think it was you guys. Anne is total bae. She's bae, dude. And ScrunchieGate can live on all it wants, but listen, we're not anti-Scrunchie. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, it was a shock to the system to see. I was more surprised at that than any of the pictures they showed me. That's what disturbed me was, okay, we got a man in a scrunchie and no one prepped me. How dare they? No, Chloe, I haven't seen any evidence that Karen's guilty. Shit, I haven't even seen evidence that she was in the yad. Show me evidence she was even in the yad. No, for real. I'm not even fucking with you. Like, if you go back, if you think about it, and if we watch all of it from what they presented to the jury, they have yet to even show that she was at the house, right? I mean, people have said it. Witnesses who can't be trusted or who were impeached said it. Until the moment she went to try to save his life, which, by the way, he's vomiting, but it's like expelling, right? Because he's passed. If I remember correctly, he's got blood on him. She is literally lifting his shirt and putting her body on him to warm him up. And she is putting her mouth on his mouth to try and breathe life into him while having a fucking freak out because she should, because the love of her life is that, and he's such a good guy. And yet Jen is wandering around going, and then going in the house slowly and just chill as fuck. Like, that's the only time we see her there is when that was happening. She gets out of the car. She's doing all that stuff. They arrive there, right? That's the only time we actually see her at the house. Like, actual evidence that she was ever even there. And I'm starting to wonder, did she drop John off? For fuck's sake. Or did they gaslight her into thinking she did? Because at this point, it's like, the only people who say that she was even there before trying to save his life are people that I don't fucking trust. And I don't think the jury does either. It's really wild. And here's the thing. I'm so glad you said that. See a toad. I don't know how to say that. But listen, this is a great point. Jennifer Soto was looking at furries, liking furry stuff. It's in a cache under her screen name. Directly doing it, not like by proxy. We'll talk about that in a minute with Vicky. But she was directly liking that, while simultaneously, according to evidence that we now saw in that 900 pages, there was a lot of other shit she was not doing that she should have been doing, and that's called parenting. And there were things that any other reasonable person would look at and go, nope, don't do that. Don't do that. That's irresponsible. That's fucked up. Don't do that, Jen. And she did it. So when I'm condemning Jem for, I mean, she didn't have any furry butt plugs or anything like that, but again, neither did Victoria. But when I'm condemning Jen for her online activity and Stefan's, even though no one's given me shit for it yet, I'm just putting it out there. That's in the context of what they did or did not do that they should have done, or what they did that they shouldn't have done with their kid. Whether she's been charged yet or not, we'll see. But from what we saw in that court paperwork, she should have. And if she's not, that's egregious. That's crazy. Now, did we see anything like that from Victoria? Nope, not at all. In fact, we saw the exact opposite. We saw that the police said, leave them the fuck alone. We have no reason to suspect anything at this point from them. In fact, I think the biggest thing that I got out of the John Ray supporters and the people trying to build this conspiracy, probably so they can get clicks or have cool clickbait or go on rants on their fucking hillbilly whack ass channels and yell about how this girl's looking at violent pornography. She's her dad. When we look at the biggest defense that these people use, the biggest defense that we see really is investigate her. John Ray just wants her investigated. That's all he's asking. He just wants her investigated. I'm sorry. Is that, what do you call getting your house raided twice? What do you call being all over the news? What do you call the FBI, the Secret Service, Suffolk County, a fucking task force, and everybody on the internet being up your ass? What do you call that? That's an investigation, boo-boos. That's an investigation. They're been under surveillance. They've been under investigation. They got their house raided. Their electronics got took. Liam Neeson style, they took those electronics. And guess what? Liam didn't get them back. These people got their shit took. They got their house wrecked. They got their lives invaded. If the problem is, John Ray, that you want them investigated, honey, where have you been? Sir. Bro, what do you want to be called? Scrunchie Dad? Scrunchie Dad. What do you need? What more do you want? Do you want them to get cavity searches? Do you want us to look at their Zyngas? Do we need to run credit checks? She worked at a Macy's. Should we go to Macy's and make sure that there were no skulls on any of the items she sold? Should we make sure that she didn't sell any witch skirts, sir? The attacks on the goth community are outlandish. Goth, witches, furries, by all means, talk shit within context if they're out murdering people, cutting off winks, eating them, doing whatever. But the assertions of cannibalism on a girl who was a fucking teenager, she was 14 during the last time he killed, like, are we really gonna go there? Because listen, I can go back to Flowers and we can find out all of the shit she would. What if we find her in a Limp Bizkit shirt, or worse? What if she's wearing an Aqua shirt? What if she was a Barbie girl living in a Barbie world? Should we see if John Ray was ever on the John's forums? Should we see if John Ray ever put out an ad anywhere? John Ray, what do you do online? What do you tumble, sir? Do you tumble fedora pictures? What's a good fedora site? My boyfriend's here. Let's ask him. You ever gone on Tumblr and looked up fedoras? You ever tumbled a good suit, a good scrunchie? You're not a Tumblr guy. You did it. You killed all those women. Dylan killed all of them. He did it. He won't wear a scrunchie. Or would you wear a scrunchie, babe? A velvet scrunchie? You're a grown-ass man who just dropped your iPod? Your AirPod? What would you wear a velvet scrunchie?
I don't really predetermine if I'm going to wear a scrunchie or not. If the scrunchie was handed to me, I probably would just put it on.
There we have it. A scrunchie was handed to John Ray at Sabotage. Who did that? Was it Victoria? She's a witch. Maybe she foresaw this, right? Desert Moon, send your scrunchies to John. Send them to John. Zero evidence she's guilty. They've gone through everything but her. We're back to Karen Reed, you guys. We're bouncing around today. Listen, agreed. Zero evidence. Zero evidence she was fucking there is what I'm saying. Like, it's, how can you be guilty if you weren't there? I have yet to see proof she was there. I hated that one guy who was like, well, if you stand at a distance and you look at the car, this car didn't match this headlight, so it couldn't have matched. So I just called it, and I got 4 weeks of forensic experience. And no, I never touched them together to see. But listen, that's what I saw. It was horrible. Faded ass Scrunchie C. Smith. Your words, not mine. True. Yeah, you meant to be in a coven. You slipped into a cult for a minute. Listen, we'll change. We will grow. We're a coven until Free Vicky is done. Once everybody lays the fuck off Vicky, I saw a couple of people were like, well, imagine how the victims' families feel. Oh, trust me, I do. And it's equally sad. Here's the thing. They're all victims until we hear otherwise. The families of the victims are victims. The victims are victims. The people who his neighbors are fucking victims, they got to put up with all that shit. Vicky, the kid, Chris, is that his name? I mean, Asa, the only thing that we have heard about her that is condemnable in my eyes has come from John Ray. And now that we have seen what we have seen from John Ray, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder, are those swinger party rumors real? I mean, I don't have any proof they are. Do you? She never admitted to it. Again, the stuff that was said by his witness in regards to Karen Vergata, it's got some things in it that just make me question, is this all BS? You know what I mean? So far, the only thing we've heard to condemn her for is from him. The other thing that people are pissed about, which I think is reasonable to be pissed, but simultaneously I wouldn't be, and I am not. But I'm also not the victim's family, so that's why I think it's reasonable for them. But when it comes to that $1 million Peacock deal, $1 million ain't shit when you got all kinds of cancer, a kid with autism. I don't have to repeat myself, right? Mortgages. You got to pay for lawyers now. Your house just got wrecked. You got to get that fixed, And here's the thing. If they'd have gotten a GoFundMe for that, everybody would have freaked out. I think they did briefly, right? But even then, it's going to cost them so much money to get their fucking lives back together. A lot of evidence, like the trucks, the vehicles, there are things that they probably relied on. There's bills they got to pay. They lose their insurance. Everybody in the world is calling them weird and making fun of them. And if they knew absolutely nothing, which we are so far led to believe that they're even having a hard time believing this shit. If that's all true, and you got no source of income and you can't get a job and everyone's calling you a witch, and now they're saying you eat people when you were a child, when your fucking selfish dad did this. And then Peacock pops up, which, by the way, kind of fucked up to do. They're vulnerable. They need a source of income. Now's the time to get the story. It's to condemn them for that. I have a hard time doing it. But if I were a victim's family member, totally can understand why it would bother you. Absolutely. 100%. However, everybody else who isn't a victim's family member feels weird to condemn them because I think you would have done the same thing. If you were in that position, if you were really in that, got to do what's right for your kids, right? Are you going to just let yourself die of breast cancer and skin cancer and then let your son not have whatever medication and treatment and PT that he needs? not be able to pay the mortgage, end up homeless and destitute because your husband made a selfish decision that you, as far as we know, knew nothing about. The only thing we've heard about you ever taking part in anything that had to be or was considered nefarious by any purposes was in the swinging affidavit, which was presented by John Ray, who is the same guy giving us this malarkey about demons and ogres and witches existing within the zeitgeist of Victoria's online search history. Feels weird. Simultaneously, you cannot tell me that every single motherfucker criticizing them for taking that Peacock deal is not going to go get Peacock so they can watch it. And they're going to watch it so they can pick it apart and get clicks on their YouTube channels. And so that they can get likes on their Reddit. And so that they can play, White Knight over the whole thing. And they can go, disgusting, shameful, but you're going to watch it. And you're probably going to get the Peacock app. And you're probably going to talk about it for weeks to come and make revenue off of it. But you're going to call it shameful right now. And you're going to ignore the fact that there's a ton of medical bills on the line. There's no source of income coming in. And so far, the police have said they didn't know anything. And this was a shock to them. Okay, cool. But then we're going to every single salacious thing we saw in the Rex affidavit. If you're not going to believe the police on that, if you're not going to believe what the FBI, what people who have had the experience, if you respect Duty Ed, I'm talking Ed Wallace, this is the level of professionalism the people who worked on this case had. This is the level of how good they are at forensics. And they've said, hey, listen, they didn't fucking know, leave them alone. And you're going, no, we trust John Ray, no. But then when that bail doc dropped and it had all the salacious, shitty stuff Rex was doing, all the evil things he did, you used that as a source and you pulled it up and you went, oh my God, look at all the horrible things this man did. So we're just going to believe parts of it now? So when the police are giving you forensic data and showing you exactly what they have to condemn Rex, that's the stuff you're going to use to say, hey, look at how evil he was. But then when the police say, by the way, the family didn't do it, leave them the fuck alone. We vetted them. We went through all their shit. They didn't know. They were out of town. The kids were children. At that part, you're going to go, how dare you, FBI? How dare you, Secret Service? How dare you tell me things I don't want to hear? And instead, you're going to go with a lawyer in a dilapidated scrunchie. Great. That's crazy. Yeah. And that troll account, by the way, that's the account that I saw with a history of deletions. And that's not Victoria's account. You could donate your 90s velvet scrunchies to the cause, and we'd appreciate that here at the Cult. No, don't send any. I don't need scrunchies. I don't need no scrunchies, y'all. I don't want no scrunch. Cops went through every but Karen's socks, but wouldn't open the Albert store. That's a good point. They didn't even, that's another thing. They act like they're fucking vampires. Like, oh, we need garlic. Hey, we got to be invited in. No, like, it's really crazy. They sent Jen McCabe. They sent Allure, and they didn't have to. I love Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know what you're talking about, but I love it. Where's Adam? Adam, where are you? Adam! Who saw the wrestling pay-per-view in Scotland? You guys saw it? It was good, right? It was so good. And then tonight, spoiler alert, if you didn't watch Monday Night Raw, Otis had enough. That's all I'm going to say. Otis had enough. And Perk Gable, is that what we're calling him? Because he's basically like Kurt Angle when he was on Perks. Perk Chad Gable is hilarious. And I, for one, am proud of Maxine. If I was on the jury, I think the text would do it. Free Karen Reed. Bojangles, I don't know why your phone is being stupid. Today was a day of rest for Patronus. Yeah, I thank you for being here. Hello, everybody. I was looking at furries not too long ago because I'm old and had no idea what it was. Here's the thing about furries. I actually had a great comment in chat on another video where we were talking about furries. because a furry reached out to me and was like, I would love to talk to you about this and to educate people on furries. And she was telling me how pissed off she was on behalf of both the goth, witch, and furry community and anime fans who play Pokemon Go. And she stands her girl Victoria and she says straight up, she's like, listen, there are multiple different sects of furries, like SECTS. There are furries that are a sexual subculture. Like basically imagine furries is Reddit and then you have subreddits. So you have little subcultures of furry. Contextually, they are not all sexual. And she was explaining to me that you can be like you could be gender fluid, pan, you could be male, female, whatever. And that again gets into gender and sex, but that's over here. There's another realm of furries apparently that is all strictly like anime, gaming, art. All right. So it's all like art. It's people who want to be future animators. It's people who are really into. She said that she started getting into it back when she was into Sonic the Hedgehog, which, yes, boo, love that for you. Love that game. And she said that there's just people who like it's literally just a cartoon thing and it's not a fetish. It's just it has to do with the actual anime art style design, cool characters, and that it's just kind of this fun thing to draw. And that because you can buy the actual costumes later, it's literally this entire subculture that sprung forth. She said the way she got into it was through Second Life, and that it's a lot of kids who, well, I say kids, but it's like teens up to 20 somethings who are not very extroverted and they choose to be extroverted by putting on the costume. And I've talked to y'all how I did mascottery in high school, and it really is like freeing once you get into the costume to like, I didn't like football at all, but once I got out there, I was like defense, like I go nuts. I couldn't do flips, but the head was big enough that I could. It was crazy. It was fun. I looked athletic. And also, no one knew if I was a boy or a girl, so they didn't really treat me a specific way. That was another big thing I noticed in high school. This is when you want to keep doing mascot after high school, or maybe you never made mascot and you want to be one. Like, it's also for artists. There's so many different genres of furries. And she told me that when she went through Vicky's Tumblr, everything was like the same stuff that she liked. And one of the reasons I didn't want to go through it as thorough in the first video and show you everything is because I wanted to respect her privacy. But now that I'm seeing like a lot of people who are going on there and leaving notes against her, especially post press conference, and people who are continuing to attack her, and because I see so many of you are supportive of her art and how it really shuts the mouths of some people who perhaps were not aware that they were being duped. Like, not Dr. B, other people. Like, you know what I mean? Makes them go, oh shit. Gives pause to it. And that's not a furry pun, but now it is. We're going to do that today. I'm going to show you some more of her art just to kind of end it, because I don't want to keep going with, I do kind of want to keep going with ScrunchieGate. I'm not going to lie to you, but I don't want to keep going with the Free Vicky movement because I do think we should respect her privacy, but I do think we should stand up for the facts and the truth when people are spouting nonsense. Again, she's not a Jen Soto. You know, there's no proof of her being involved in anything. So I just want to, oh yeah, you looked up crossbar. Yeah, it isn't. It's really just like, it's a building thing, it's a mechanics thing. But if you're doing like suspension and stuff, like in Japan, it's more of a BDSM suspension type of thing. But here it's not really that. Like, it can literally mean 100 different things. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, I do think that there are Pandora's. And that's another thing, like the clubs that they're naming, it's bad for business if they're still open. And I feel like there were just so many people and so many subcultures and so many things that were totally innocent that he inferred that they go hand in hand with cannibalism and, ritualistic murder, and literally talked about hanging and how long they were. We don't know how long they were. Here's the thing. Yeah, we know a lot of details and they're in court records, sir. It's almost like John Ray's denying what's in the records. There are a few things that severely hinder the sole proximate cause being placed on Jen. This is why she hasn't been charged, and likely it won't be, in my opinion. It's not that she didn't do it. Exactly. And that's why I have a hard time with her. I keep saying it's like Casey Anthony, you know? Should have been charged, but she wasn't. Like, I don't know what to do about that. There are likely things standing in the way. And by the way, if you want to learn more about the Jen Soto case and her history, two people are covering the shit out of it. And it's Jay from Guilty of Crime, and it's Duty Ron. And when this video is done, I'll put links below. I know most of you know who that is, but if you don't, Duty Ron with Ed Wallace, his channel, and Jay Guilty of Crime, they are covering the hell out of this. They're going through the docs. Jay's talking to old roommates. Ron's talking to people like Ed who are giving like forensic analysis and really good analysis on why, you know, certain things are done certain ways they are. What can be gleaned from the data? Plunder is showing all the docs. Oh, Grizzly. I love a good South African. She literally is, she's showing all the tea, you guys. She got the tea. And she's got a really good lipstick, and she should start a lipstick brand. How have we not gotten Grizzly on board with a lipstick brand? My God, the woman wears it like the painting I used to have. It looks so good. Get a lipstick. Listen, I don't need clout. I don't need, in fact, this cult is getting too big. I might have to kick some of you out. Just kidding. But hear me the fuck out. We don't need to get involved in, you know, I'm all about making friends. Let's make allies in this cult. You know, I support Grizzly. I support her, and I want you to support her. But this isn't about getting with her to talk true crime. I need some of you to clip what I'm about to say and send this to her, because I'm into good marketing. I'm into good branding. I really, really, really love a good opportunity for some dope merch. And let me tell you something. Grizzly, get a lipstick brand. Get a lipstick color made. If Jeffree Star can do it, if that one girl with the round face whose husband died, if she could do it, I mean, her shit's way overdone anyway, and Grizzly's makeup's better. Get Grizzly. Grizzly, get lipstick and sell it and call it something true crime themed so I can fucking buy it. Because I know you blend. You can't. I've never seen a color that good. Like, it's really good. It's very vibrant and it never smears. Where are you getting it? Where? You can't just say MAC. Just go get a lipstick. Get a lipstick. Send her ideas for different names of colors too. Yeah. Cindy, this is a great point. His incorrect depiction of that painting, a furry butt plug, says more about him than it does about VH. Yeah, it makes me wonder what John Ray's put up his ass. Does he walk into a Whole Foods and go, a furry butt plug, and just grab an eggplant? What are we doing here, people? What are we doing? Dream of a Hive, quit bragging about your scrunchie collection. I'm jealous. And you don't listen, just send him to his business address. Send him some good ass scrunchies. Give this dude a break. He needs scrunchies. We're going hard on him, but the guy needs a new scrunchie because I hate seeing a worn one. I mean, again, a book deal, you know, if you're getting upfront money, I mean, that's what I'm saying. $1 million is not a lot. She has to pay taxes on that. That's going to be what? Probably $200K chopped off. Right? Lawyers are definitely going to take like $250K for this shit for her kids. And they do need lawyers. Don't say they don't. If someone raids your home, you need to get a lawyer. Even if you're innocent, get a fucking lawyer. Anyone will tell you that. Those lawyers that smoke and say, don't fucking talk to the cop, they'll tell you that. Melanie will tell you that. Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. They're going to have maybe half that money and they're going to have twice the amount of bills. Get a book deal. Get a book deal and maybe, like, I mean, Carrie did it, right? I used to forget her name all the time because of you, little Snoopy Dupas. I now know it. Carrie, BTK's daughter. And what did she keep doing? She didn't go just run away with the money like the Hamburglar. No. She's dedicated her life to really just fucking over her dad. And I love that for her. How would someone be normal? Or your dad a serial killer? How would someone be normal? Or question if your dad is a serial killer? I don't understand the question, but I think I get what you're saying. Are you saying like, yeah, if your dad is a serial killer, right? How would you be normal? I would think, listen, the second the world announces that your dad is the biggest piece of shit on earth and his house is ugly and you live in that house, you're fucked. The second that happens, you're fucked. And I'd be weird too. I'd be very weird. Yes, Kenzie, I cannot. Kenzie, you're dead ass. She was a child. I cannot say that enough. She was a kid when that happened. She was 14 during the last crime. What we shouldn't want is misguided people on social media harassing Vicky Hewerman. That's exactly what JR set her up for. It's infuriating. And you know what? Now would be a good time to show you what he did to Vicky. Yeah, and Precocent, that's a good point. Your life is ruined at that. The second your dad kills a shitload of women and then does the things that he did to them and does it in the way he did and starts calling their families and being like, I killed your sister. Like, the second your dad becomes like worse than most serial killers, you're fucked. Like, you're gonna start from then on, you're gonna have a really shitty life. It's gonna be hard. Now imagine you had no fucking clue and the whole world doesn't believe you. And if you remember correctly, I said very similar things about Janet first. And then we found out she did know a lot of things. And now I'm like on the fuck Jen wagon, right? So with that said, if all of a sudden, I'm saying this right now, and it's not to protect myself, it's because this is how I think human beings should operate. This is just my opinion. If for some reason we find out in the coming weeks that everything John Ray said is true and that Vicky at 14 was just out there slicing and dicing these women away. You know, if we find out that she is dancing in a pale moonlight, sacrificing to the Elden gods the blood of innocence, if we find this out, then I will be the first one to go, whoops, I was fucking wrong. Sorry, everybody. You know what? You're all right. Maybe I should shut the fuck up. Right? Or I'll just change my mind and go, well, with this new information you've given me, I now feel, I now agree with you, Flower Girl. I agree with you, Clarice, whatever your fucking name is. Lena. Oh, Lean. Okay, I'm on your side now. You were right. I was wrong. You can make fun of me now. You can yell at me. I'm Scrunchy Girl now. I'm Flower Girl now. That's what I will say. And I will hang my head in shame. But listen, I think we all kind of know that a 14-year-old girl didn't have anything to do with this. And it's shocking that he would infer such things. And again, to everybody saying, he didn't say that. Do we need to play it again? Because yes, he did. Yes, he did. He fucking brought cannibalism into it. And he showed a picture from the show Hannibal. Like, what are we doing here, people? Are we going to talk? Did Rex listen to Judas Priest? Is it Rob Halford's fault? During Gay Pride Month, are we going to condemn gay metal dad, Rob? Because Rex may have listened to Break in the Law in his Avalanche? Is that where we're at? Oh my God. I missed so many comments. I got to go to the end, but listen, we got to tell Grizzly she's got to get her own lipstick. I'm going to show you some shit next. We're getting on. Hello, chat babies. Oh, hey, Tiffy. What's up, girl? I would not be normal either, Jamie's. I would not be normal either. Nicolette, I read this wrong. I thought you said I just want to hung them. And I'm like, that's fucked up. But now I'm reading it. You said hug. I agree. That picture, I got weepy, y'all. And it wasn't just because I was on the end of my period. It was literally like, what a sad photo. I think people forget at the beginning of all of this pre-Peacock deal, it was laid out pretty clearly what was going on there. The family never had him around. They were always kind of sent off on their own without dad. Poor daughter probably lost her job. She was working for him, right? And everybody's like, well, she worked with him. What does that tell you? Well, a tinge of nepotism, maybe. If my dad was a big time lawyer in a badass building in Manhattan and he said, come work for me, I would fucking do it in a heartbeat. Just like a lot of you are going to get Peacock downloaded and watch that shit. So don't you dare criticize them for a second if you're going to watch it. Not you in my chat. I'm talking about all the haters who are about to watch this and chew me out in my fucking emails. I will just delete them and not read them. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you think about those pictures because those pictures are not Vicky's. They're not Vicky's. They're not Vicky's art. So I don't care about your critique of somebody else's art that is not Vicky. And don't defend John Ray to me. He's a big boy. What he did was fucked up. Yeah, even if your dad just killed one guy, even if he didn't kill someone, if your dad did something fucked up, it's not your fault. It is complete bullshit. Exactly, Rachel. That's what I'm saying. We need to keep in mind, if facts change, opinion changes, right? That's a great point. I don't understand how being given the facts that this is not her accounts did not change opinions. And I think it's because not enough people are talking about, hey, that's not the truth. But they're starting to. And I think that some of them straight up were like, I mean, there were creators who were like, this is fucking bullshit right away. And they ruled. That's awesome. That is awesome. And again, don't wear a scrunchie if you're going to talk about that. If you're going to show off cannibalistic material and make accusations, in the words of Rick Ross, don't wear an old scrunchie. Get a new scrunchie, for fuck's sake. Maybe I am resentful he didn't wear the fedora. Maybe. Tiff. Judas Priest is such a great show. I worked at a radio station a long time ago, and I got to meet Rob, and he was fantastic. And that guy, Rick Springfield, we call him Dick Springfield. He was so mean. And Rob Halford was so fucking nice. Gay Pride Month. Support Rob Halford. People are artistic. They paint, draw their emotions, especially what they see as their flaws. You know what? This is where we're going to. This is such a great comment. We need to look in mirrors instead of invading other people. Instead of invading others to live a life we approve or believe. Yes, absolutely. What you just said here is important because she did paint and draw her emotions, and they were very good. And those emotions had nothing to do with killing people. Isn't that fantastic? Nothing. Now, I showed you a version of her Tumblr that was actually, I disabled the JavaScript on it. Uh-oh, am I frozen? Okay, it's back. Because I didn't want to overinvade her privacy. But here's the thing. Oh, Rock Chalk, my daughter. Your father loves you. I love you too. Welcome, welcome. And by the way, anybody hating on Rock Chalk, I don't know what beef you got going. I saw there was some beef. I'll fucking cook that beef. Tell me who that guy is. Who's that brother that's pissing you off, Rock? We must protect Rock. Rock Chalk is a beast, dude. She's Mrs. Dr. Beast. She rules. She is Lorenzo Lamas in the show Renegade. She is that hot dude in Quantum Leap. She is getting up everyone's ass, and she's getting the deets in Oklahoma, and she's doing it for you. She's missing UFC sometimes. God, I love you. Everybody go support Rock Chalk's channel. Dream of a Hive, thank you for the super chat. Some people have the attention span of gnats. I love that you spelled gnats right. Create a short of VH's actual art. Maybe. You know, I feel bad. I don't want to like contact her or anything. I don't even think that she would get it. She's probably getting inundated. In fact, I know she's probably getting inundated with bullshit after that press conference. But if Vicky, babe, if you're out there watching, girl, if you need help, if your lawyer needs help compiling the actual facts in the trail of that artwork, because I don't think you had shit to do with what your dad did, and that's fucking prickish of him to allow that shit to fall back on you. If you need help, hit me up. Because I don't support what the fuck he did. He sucks. Sorry, Vicky, but you know, your dad kind of fucking sucks. But if you need help because you're not your dad and you're starting to realize that this fucking sucks, having to answer for him or having to take shit on his behalf because you didn't do anything, you're just a fantastic artist. If you need help, hit me up and I will send this all to you. I will send you a digital trail and we will fuck Flower so hard for all her bullshit. And I mean that metaphorically, not really. In case anybody wants to be babies about that. Poor Vicky. I love your art, girl. You did great. You did really good. And I will create that short. Jamie's Cowboys. Thank you for saying Oblivious Benson. Hello. That's my name. That is my alt ego. And let me tell you something. If any of you need help defending the goth girl army, the witches, the anime enthusiasts, nerd bitches, rise up. Hit me up. Let's get them. Let's get their asses. Let's do an online raid of their channel and demand the proof, because I have yet to see a single bit of proof. Someone said, well, one of those paintings was signed by her. Yeah, the one that wasn't weird at all? The only one that was pretty innocent? Or are you talking about the skulls and the roses, the El Dia de los Muertos stuff, the stuff for her school packet? Are you out of your damn mind, people? Get off Vicky's ass. And I thank you for that shout out, Jamie. You rule. I told people on another channel that those were not VH's artwork and got my butt chewed. That's what I'm talking about, Sherilyn. Email me. Let's get them. See, they shut the comments down too. That's another thing. They don't want to hear it. Yeah, he couldn't stand to see Gloria Aldridge representing. And here's the thing. If he really cares about these victims, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but like if it really is about the victims, you should want them to have a lawyer like Gloria. Because she's a fucking beast. That's Lawyer Bay. That's old school lawyer Bay. I represent anybody who really needs. That's in Texas. She would be like Dick Durbin here. That's a big guy, or Dick DeGuerin. That's his name. Yeah, she's a great lawyer. No, Jamie, you kick ass. You're the one who kicks ass. Rock Chalk. I'll be in Eckerd, Oklahoma tomorrow. I'm trying to have a tea with you. Where's Chloe? Go get some tea with Rock Chalk. You guys should go to that Radio Shack. I bet they got tea there. That is an analogy. I don't know what it was about, but we tried. You saw Slipknot? Dude, Slipknot's crazy. They're so good. Corey Taylor's on this show about therapy, and it's really like, whew, it's a lot. And yes, there is. Someone said creepier art in Dia de los Muertos, and you're right. Thank you, Jessica Frick. I like your last name, by the way. Instead of saying the F word, we like to say frick off. Does she do everything for status, Jeanette? I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes, though, the status can be good if you're really getting if you're fucked, you know? If you're guilty, that's bad for Gloria, right? But Gloria's representing the victim, so I think this is actually better for Gloria. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is for status. Oh, no. One of the super sticks went away that I wanted to click on. Here we go. Is it Dream of Hive? Nope, we already did that. Who did I miss? If I missed you, tell me your name, because I want to see you again, and I don't. I'm still trying to figure out how this shit works. But listen. Okay. All right. I do have to take a break in 1 second. It's Rock Chalk. I loved my dad. I love you. You're the one I think I missed. All right. Here's what we're going to do. I want to put on, because I need to run the dog for something real quick. I need to take him out to pee. So we're going to get a refresher, and then I'm going to show you some cool stuff. And the refresher that I'm going to show you right now is going to be full screen. Let me make this full screen. This is a refresher of the press conference because I want to make sure that everybody remembers what was said here. Okay. So this is your pee break time. By the way, if you need to go take a pisher, this is the time to do it. All right. I'm going to put this on for a little bit and then we're going to come back. Okay. because my dog needs to pee. And also because I was going to show you this anyway. I want to go over it anyway. Let's do share screen. But if you watch the presser and you need to pee, this is the time. And I'm frozen again. Great. Good. Good. Excellent. Come on. All right, guys. My shit is frozen. Give it one moment. If it breaks down, I will be right back. What is happening? All right. It's still frozen. Well, good. This is terrible. Guys, everything froze. I don't even know if you can hear me right now. Come on. Okay. Let me try this. Well, if you're still there, hang in there. If not, it might shut down and maybe we'll be back. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Well, this is terrible. Everything's frozen. All right. Well. Okay, everything's frozen. I think I got to restart it, you guys. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Damn. Why did this happen? Had me. This is insane. I'm back. And for some reason, I'm closer. I don't know how this happened. Can you guys hear me? My God. This was crazy. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sticking around. Is it freezing again? Y'all, StreamYard is pissing me off. It's cutting its eyes at me. Can you hear me okay? Am I even here? I'm back. Thank you for sticking around. I had no idea if this feed was up. That wasn't even to pop out. That wasn't even to pop out the dog, you guys. That sounds terrible. That wasn't even to take my dog out yet. StreamYard just froze at that moment. We had an Art Bell moment. I had my first Art Bell moment. Was it the government? Was it John Ray? Who doesn't want me streaming? Why is it freezing still? This is really, it froze again. Do I just hang in there when these things happen? I'm frozen again. Oh, I'm back. I don't know what's going on, you guys. This is a really good computer. I know it's not the computer. I was getting anxious too. That was some Art Bell shit. It's pausing again. What the fuck is happening? This is pissing me off. Your dad's about to say some nasty words. Nerd bitches, rise up. Thank you. My tisms? Yeah, no. For real. I don't like seeing anybody get battered and bullied for things beyond their control. If you can control it, though, sometimes you need an ass whooping. You know? Let's make a fart. Oh, a fort. Oh, that's fun. Or a fart. I don't care. I'm back. Daddy went to get a pack of smokes, and you thought Daddy was never coming back, but guess what, kids? You can't get rid of me. I am going to cover Mr. Cruel. You're a local Satan sandwich. I think you told me that a while back. Did we chat in a comment thread about this? Or about something else? I would love to have Melbourne locals talk about it. I'm so sorry your daddy had to go. Something happened. I don't know what the hell was going on. That was weird. That was Art Bell. It was something. They're trying to silence a bitch. Yeah. That was crazy. I see you, Petty Mason. I see you. I feel you. I want to see. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't have any viruses. That's all good. I don't know what the hell was going on. I didn't freeze for you. So for me, what I saw was me going like that. Literally, it was like mid dab almost. It was crazy. And then everything turned black. And then it just like nothing happened. And I took a minute and I was like, well, maybe I need to restart my computer. Your dad might have too much data going on. So yes, shitty titties. Shitty titties in the chat. And Daddy's hoe one. Yep. This has been, I'm home. I brought the milk. Then they went to get cigarettes and came back. I'm only local there when Matthew around. All right. Matthew McConaughey, baby. It's got to be StreamYard. I also saw some creators today whose shit was fucking up. And I was like, damn, hope not for me. Well, guess what? Even I am vulnerable to the penetrations of StreamYard's inner workings. Let's see. Hide the goodies, everyone. That's big. Yep. I think you're right. I need more RAM. Thought I had enough, but I didn't. It was an alien abduction. It was. They took me. They took your dad. They took your dad and they put thoughts in my brain. It's so hot here. Sometimes you need a scrunchie, but guess what? Don't get a velvet one because it's just going to make it worse. So I want to show you a couple things. First of all, there's a creator. This has nothing to do with true crime, but since we went on a break briefly, may as well do a palate cleanser, right? There's a creator out there that I absolutely love and adore who goes by the name at Lil Bubby Child here on, or I guess we're not here. I'm there on YouTube in the shorts at LILBUBBYCHILD. And you're going to see that in a minute. And I like to use his stills, and I'll credit him in the bottom. And he's a guy. I think his last name's Pengram. He's a fantastic artist from the mountains of West Virginia way, I think. And he makes these amazing Appalachian style cartoons that you've probably seen in a bunch of my old videos. Yes, Art Bell forever. And can't hear a word you were saying. No, you were on a planet out in the fourth quadrant. The aliens came. They did. They got me. But anyway, you've probably seen a lot of Lil Bubby Child on my videos in the past. And this is how I felt about you guys this weekend. The cult. My children. While everybody was gone for Dead Days Day. Let me present this to you real quick. If it freezes, we riot. Let me share this with you. This is how I feel about you guys. This is how I feel about you 24/7. You ready?
I love you, and I miss you, and I'm thinking about you every day and night.
I love you too, Mama.
I love you, honey. I really do.
Well, I appreciate that.
Every day and night. Every day and night.
I know it. I know it.
And I'm thinking about you.
Well, alrighty.
And I love you.
Well,
And I miss you. I love you, and I miss you, and I'm thinking.
That's how I feel about you when I'm gone. I love you, and I miss you, and I'm thinking about you every day and night. Every day and night. And I'm that fat goth guy. That's his brother. Whoops, let's not go down. We don't know what's down there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's just playing some shit. Exit out of there. Let's hit stop sharing. That's our palate cleanser. Little Bubby Child. Oh, shit. Midwest nice. Morgantown. West Virginia way. Yep. I spent some time out there in northeastern Kentucky on the border of West Virginia, Ohio. I think it was Ironton, Ohio, and Greenup County, Kentucky, and a little bit on the tip of West Virginia way. And let me tell you something. Mountain people don't fuck around. And if you ever wanted cheap cigarettes, there's two places to go. There's a reservation in Oklahoma, up North Wichita Falls way, and then anywhere in Kentucky. At least that's how it was over a decade ago. It was like $4 fucking a pack in the hauler. It was insane. There's one guy in the hauler who would sell it to you fresh for $2.50. So yeah, I love you too, Lily. You can smell it from here. The fort? You had an ice cream party while I was away. Well, by God, what kind of ice cream did you get? Did you get Ben and Jerry's, or did you get... If you're from Texas, you gotta know about Bluebell, baby. Bluebell. Tiff, you were overzealous? Get in the corner. Go clean your room, Tiff. Cheap smokes. Let me tell you something. The holler, that's where you get the cheap smokes. That's where you get them. Because this shit has us chain smoking. And don't you apologize. And if you're goth and you're here, I don't know how much cloves cost there, but I'd imagine not much because everyone fucking smokes them. That's the other thing. There's a lot of goths in the holler. It's another reason why I had to show you Little Bubby Child. There's a big goth hillbilly crossover community that people don't like to talk about, but it's true. And I'm talking about them goths that work at Taco Bell. They sell all the pills and they listen to the Bauhaus. That's a thing. It is a thing. And let me tell you something. We're thinking about you. In this dark time, as John attacks the witches, the goths, the furries, the animes, everybody, the tumblers. If you tumble, I apologize for my brother John, for he knows not what he speaks. Really pisses me off. Could you imagine if they found Sage in her house? This must be Bones. Like, they would say something crazy. Hit that like button, friends. I wonder what Adam's thinking about. Wonder if he's thinking about us. Wonder what he's doing, who he's doing it with. I hope he's having a good time. What is that movie? I think that is a callback to Kids in the Hall Brain Candy. I could be wrong, but yeah, I do wonder what Adam's doing. I do love cheap smokes myself. Goths in the holler. Walk among the tombstones. There's goths in the holler. Let me tell you something. Down there, up there, Kentucky way, Lots of goths in the holler. Tons of goths. The holler is riddled with the goths. And there's all levels of goth too. It's they also have a very odd, ooh, what's he barking at? Oh, he's barking at his daddy. He's fighting with his daddy right now over a toy. Yeah, there's a lot of goths in the Holloway, and they listen to a lot of Bauhaus, but there's also the typo negative metal goths. There's the you hear that? Flight Path Planes, Mr. Cruel. If you know, you know. There's a lot of goths in the Holloway. They listen to a lot of Coal Chamber, Seven Dust, a lot of early 90s, a mixture between shoegaze and metal and prog rock. But they do fuck around quite a bit with the heavier Cradle of Filth shit, but also big, like, there are so many fans out there of this weird is he talking? I don't know if you guys can hear my dog talk, but he goes rah, 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 and he's talking to his daddy right now. Oh my god, he's vocal. Where is he? Is he over there by you? Is he just talking at you?
Yeah.
What's he whining about? Do you have barbecue you're not giving him? He's pissed off. He smells barbecue and he's pissed. Really? Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Will you get like a wet cloth with nothing on it? Give him a little booty rub down. My doggy's been doing a thing where he's rubbing his booty on the ground. And we tried to, there's no dupes to pull out. There's no danglers, no stranglies, no extra little, he doesn't have tapeworm. It looked like he might have got bit by a mosquito, but I noticed his little tuchus area is very dry. So then my boyfriend tells me, I made a fatal dog mom mistake, you guys. My boyfriend tells me earlier that apparently even the sensitive skin baby wipes you cannot use on any dogs because they're super acidic. Now, I got advice from someone saying otherwise. And when I checked online, it said like sensitive skin ones from this brand is fine. And it turns out, no, it just makes their tuchus itch a lot. And so he's having a little itchy butt moment. And when that happens, yeah, his anal glands are fine. No issues with the anal glands. He's pooping fine. Everything's fine. It's just he got the itchy butthole. And he had a little, so he likes to eat bees. Got to keep him away from the bees. He'll just nap at any bug and just try to eat it. Turns out, no, his glands do not need to be expressed. His glands are expressing themselves the way I do on YouTube. I'm telling you. It turns out, so where he got the little bite, I had put some medication that his vet recommended on it, right? And he can't reach it to lick it or anything, so it was healing. But he was still rubbing his little butt. And so I looked it up and it was like sensitive skin is fine. I texted a friend and she was like, it has to be this specific. And I used it on his butt and I think it got worse. Like the itchies for him. And then Dylan is smart and he did his research. He did his OSINT. I'm a shameful dog parent. And he was like, no, you can never use any baby wipes. So yeah, I think that he just got a little allergic reaction from maybe the baby wipe, and that's my bad, and I feel terrible. Nobody likes an itchy, but yes, we gave him a Benadryl last night. Actually, that's a really good idea. Okay, when he comes back, we'll give him another one. Poor baby. We're gonna give him a bath in a little bit. Yeah, check the Benadryl. For him, it's one full one, but I do give him halves just to be safe because we don't need too much. But yeah, we're gonna do that. Is he feeling better with the wipe or with the rat? Okay, I think he's doing better. He just needed a little wet rag, and then we're gonna give him an anti-allergy bath in a second. We also changed his food up. He's got this hypoallergenic, really good for you, healthy food. He's a little chubby bunny, and when we got him, he was 50 pounds, and we took him down 5, and for some reason, he looked thicker than a Snicker after. and now we're like, okay, one more 5 to go. And it's been a year. So we're going to try to do another 5 this year. So yeah, it's a doggy version. Yes, they gave us. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're using a wet little pape And then we're going to give him a bath with this very specific. But anyways, let's get on to the subject. Because what I want to do is I want to show you some stuff that I found after we were looking into basically post press conference. I was diving deeper into Victoria's stuff. And just to be like, there's no way, because to me, it's like, there's no way someone can be so fucking irresponsible. They would just make shit up. There's got to be, like, maybe they saw in the cash. That's all. That's what I figured last time. And I told y'all that, like, it's the only reasonable thing. Like, there's no other explanation other than maybe they went back, like, and really dug out some stuff that's deep into Tumblr, but I couldn't find many connections at all to what they were saying. So one of the things that they did say was that she hid her followers and stuff, and I found out she didn't. But if you have your make sure that you always turn off your JavaScript enabler that I told you about and turn it back on when you're done, because then you can see a lot more. Now, I knew that she was showing who she was following, but I thought maybe she privatized it because everybody was being so mean to her. Turns out, no, it's all public. And that's even great. That's even better, right? Because it's going to be better for John Ray, because maybe now by looking at it, we can figure out what the fuck he was talking about and why he was saying these things. Maybe, he said it for a reason, or he was misled by what was on her Tumblr. So now it's like, okay, well, let's keep diving. And I already did and didn't find much, but I was like, in my gut, I felt like I got to keep diving even deeper. But that would suck for John Ray, right? Because that meant that basically whoever found him this information really went out of their way to go way, way back into somebody else's shit. And that's even a further reach from where we were before. And that would be even more irresponsible, I think. So maybe there's a link there. Let's keep looking. So I'm going to show you this right now, because I do think it's very important. And this is her Tumblr. And the reason that I want to show this to you is because I kind of want to show you also what happened post press conference and also post his arrest to this poor girl. So as you can see, she actually didn't at all keep her followers or who she's following secret. They were actually, if you go on the Wayback Machine version, that's where they are, which tells me, or that's where she had them secret. And that it's not that they were secret, it's that you have to follow her or be followed by her to see them. That's how it was when she first set up the account. And it's not very old. It's an account from 2018 that she closed and then reopened in 2020 to shift all of her Vimeo files to and combine it with her artwork, right? So I went ahead and restarted my old Tumblr just so I could see some of this stuff. And I also went ahead and didn't do what John Ray did, or whoever sent that to him. I did not go on the Wayback Machine, which I did on my video, because that's what they had to have done in order to draw the conclusions they did. On this one, I decided, hey, let's just pretend we're somebody that's just looking at her stuff. And we're not John Ray. We're just the average person, and we're not trying to find something from deep in the past or the Wayback Machine or find where she had things privatized. We want to look into the future, right? Like around the time Rex was busted or when she was posting. Her last posts, I believe, were 2018 and 2020. So she, she had a couple fairly recently, but not that recently. See that one, April 13th, 2020. That's like 4 years ago, right? So it's not that recently. She wasn't a child by any means, but this was her last post. It says a mermaid I've been working on. It shows that she was working with Procreate art, mermaid art. It's signed. It's not gross or disturbing. It's a fucking mermaid. It's a mermaid, right? So this is one of you guys right before it froze. I said, hey, that's a really good point. It was about self-expression. One of you pointed that out. I thought that this was a really sweet post. This is from April 7th. A 20-minute self-portrait. A fun fact about myself. I have the awful habit of staring into space, and according to bystanders, I look like this. Which is kind of funny. And it's also really cute. Right? It's really cute. That rules. You're going to love Lil Bubby Child, Midwest Nice. I highly recommend adding Lil Bubby Child. You're going to love it if you grew up there. It's so funny. So yeah, sorry. My allergies are bad too. I got dog itchy butt face. Now this is, I popped my boyfriend. This is, so again, I showed you pieces of her art. I tried to keep the relevant recent stuff. And I also showed you the stuff from Wayback Machine. So that you could get an idea of what she was about, because John Ray said, you know, or his assistant, whoever, said that this stuff was pulled from her LinkedIn. Well, her LinkedIn didn't really have the Tumblr anywhere that I could see until, unless you go like way back, but until recently it had her website. So that's where we went. We went there and we pulled some stuff from her Tumblr, trying to be discreet. But, you know, I pulled the stuff that is her art so that you could see it. But she has more art on there. And I saw some people, there were not very many, but the 2 or 3 who gave me shit and were like, you should have shown all of it. You're hiding stuff that could have been interpreted the way John was saying and supportive of John. No, okay, fine then. Fine then, you big dookie face. Let's look at them. What do you see here that's disturbing? I see another fucking mermaid. I see what looks like maybe a fox coming out of a bag. I see another interpretation of a fox. She's really into foxes. She was trying to do, she's doing those masks. What are they called? They're the masks from the plague that, they're, what is the villain Marty Skrull's mask called? The wrestler, you know, that mask where it's like a long nose. Maybe someone in the chat will know. It's one of those masks. It's like a doctor used to wear it so that they couldn't like suck in the plague or something. So she has a comic book series that she was working on with that. There's little notes on some of them, which tells you, you know, she's creating characters. She's trying to create depth with these characters, and she's got notes on her characters. Now, what? Yeah, plague mask. That's what it's called. One of the women who gave me shit, who can eat one, made it a point to tell me, oh my God, she put sunken cheeks on one. Why don't you show that? Bitch, good bone structure does not a serial killer make. She's trying to work on facial features. She's an artist. If anything, this supports the idea of her sculpting a skull. It makes sense. And if that doesn't sell you, there's much more. What is this? There's a vid out there where someone says Satan is in King Charles' portrait. That is no. Send it to me, please. I don't they think the devil lives at the Denver airport too. That's another thing. They think that there's satanic imagery at the Denver. That's all conspiracy shit. Yeah, we all have a plague mask somewhere deep down inside of us. Rose wants everybody be sweet to Rose. Rose says she's old and trying, and she's new to lives and to response, and she doesn't know how to at people. So have some patience with our girl Rose. She's going to get there. She just needs a little time to play around with it. She needs to try out the lives more. Have patience with Rose. Love you, Rose. That's a pretty Rose. Tiff, people do be dumb. They be dumb. They be shopping and they be dumb. I feel like I was lied to after hearing the broadcast. I believe them. It's okay, Michelle. A lot of people believe them. They were very deceptive. If somebody says something with a ton of confidence, but they don't show it to you, it's very easy to be deceived, especially if they have a history of doing good things, like advocating for people or being a good person. Oftentimes, people will be a good person until they aren't. And that moment they stop being a good person is that moment when everything shifts and they start lying to you. And they usually don't show you proof because that would prove that they're lying, right? So they just say it confidently with a podium and a scrunchie. And here's the thing. Some of it is creepy, but it's cool. They didn't actually, like, the stuff that was created by other creators that he tried to attribute to her, I did see some of them did take stuff down, and that's shitty. They had nothing to do with it. They lived in other places. But I think it's good that they did that because that stops the hate for Vicky. I mean, nobody can look at it and try to attribute it to her again because it wasn't in the first place. Was he a bit of a creeper? We will have to look into him. You're 56. You ain't old, girl. You ain't old. And it's okay. We'll help you. If you have dementia, we'll help you. We'll walk you through it. No one's going to hate any of you ladies for not, or gents. Anybody who needs to take it slow, that's fine. You can even slow down this chat. If you wait like 30 minutes and you're not too worried about being involved in the immediate live chat, you can wait like 30 minutes and you could slow it down to 0.75. That helps a lot, especially if you're like learning all this stuff. But yeah, let's keep going. So she's got over here Gertrude is a witch doctor, a plague doctor, 670 years old. So now we're getting into the territory of like the kids who were into Twilight and stuff. There's this generation of people who make comics and they come up with these backstories and these ages. Floppy ears, rat feet. That's pretty funny. I think there was someone in here named like Rat something the other day. Like this is like all black clothes. One lady was freaking out over at me for. So I wore all black in high school. You're here with me. Look at this. Did they throw her in the water? Are there bodies in the ocean? People are you fucking kidding me? This is a display of how she's learning graphic art and design and making structures move. Again, some more cool ass art. She's playing with Procreate. She literally tells you what she's doing. These are her creepy foxes. Ugh, they're really cute. I like them. See how she signs it? What's to stop anybody who's helping John Ray? I'm not saying they did this, but I'm saying it's very easy to do. If you're seeing portraits misattributed to Vicky, like that Hannibal deer picture or anything else, what's to stop them from taking the SIG, doing a little screenshot, running it through remove BG, taking that and then reapplying it on something they want to attribute to her? Because guess what? A troll already pretended to be her in a forum and asked people to peep her art and misspelled everything. So there's that. This is it, you guys. It's foxes, it's anime, it's cool hair. It's this little guy. We love that. That's fun. I really like her stuff too. I like her foxes. This is what illustrators do. People are leaving notes. See, sometimes it doesn't show the notes. This person, Penny Lane, who's a total fucking asshole, who I think is the same one I kicked out of my chat, 2 days ago after the John Ray press conference, went under her Francis Bacon inspo piece that she made years ago, even though it says 2019, I believe it's 2018, when she started working on it. Finished it in 2020, took her 2 years. This asshole comes in and says demonic. You can't tell me she ain't already getting hate. I'm going to take my puppy out real quick, and I'm going to play you some of this stuff to refresh you on this press conference. Let's hope that it works this time. Let's hope that it works. Here we go. Ready? I know, honey. I'm gonna take you out real quick. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm going to play this for you guys. Here we go. Don't forget, this is what was said.
Oh. Second, Victoria on her LinkedIn links to a now defunct website with the URL www.vinandemodtour.art, which presumably once showcased her artwork. You'll notice that this website URL mirrors the username of the Tumblr account and is likely a reference to an Icelandic word or phrase, which I'll talk about later. For reference, Victoria's now deleted Instagram also used this handle username. The same website is also linked in Victoria's Tumblr's biography. If you navigate to Victoria's Tumblr, you will find a tab to view her posts, as well as a tab to view a list of the accounts she follows on Tumblr. Her posts consist of her artwork, some of which is included in the digital file that I will be sharing with everybody today, and printed for you in the packet we will be circulating. And on her Tumblr profile, a single reblog. A reblog on Tumblr is when one reposts a post from another blog onto one's own blog. This single reblog made by Victoria is from an account which specializes in the production and distribution of illustration furry pornography. The reblog post is of the user, which Victoria follows, advertising where their content can be found beyond Tumblr, right before Tumblr effected a ban on adult content. For those who are unfamiliar, a furry is someone who is an enthusiast for anthropomorphized animal characters, often portrayed in sexualized fashion. A sampling of this person's content can be found on the Twitter account ebchimera_adult. I might add that these images are not for the faint of heart. It is cartoon pornography, but it depicts various grotesque acts of bestiality. That this person produces grotesque cartoon hentai style pornography is significant, as it is seemingly the only account with which Victoria has engaged publicly, deeming this person's content worthy of a reblog, and that according to the district attorney, Rex Heuermann himself searched specifically for hentai porn, searches which the DA described as sadistic. While Victoria's likes on Tumblr are not available for public review, some counts are, she has chosen not to make hers public. We can look to the list of accounts she follows to inform us as to what kinds of images Victoria is viewing. Upon examination of the roster of accounts Victoria follows on Tumblr, nearly every account is focused on the circulation of furry art and images. Victoria has a preference for furry pornographic material and dark, macabre art as seen on various accounts. And I'll go into some of these accounts right now. There's Ebony Chimera, a furry porn content creator, NIEH Furry, a furry content and furry porn creator. I guess I should be thankful, a furry porn and furry content creator who links to a fan fiction account of theirs on a website called Archive of Our Own, which publishes explicit content. This person's works and bookmarks displays a preference for fan fiction with the self-described themes of graphic depictions of violence, rape, child abuse, strangulation, underage prostitution, asphyxiation, and rough sex.
Rough
Squad 524, a blog which describes itself as an art blog of Yiffertons, and its derivations being slang terms used by
I don't need to be told the derivations of the Yiffertons. What does this have to do with Shannon Gilbert? I ask. I want you to keep that in mind. And I love what Jesse said. Vicky's work that we are seeing here, and not the work wrongly attributed to her, reminds me of the artist Marjorie Cameron Parsons, aka Cameron, who did a piece called The Black Egg, wife of Jack Parsons. That's fucking awesome to learn. Thank you for teaching us that. Feel free to drop any nuggets in the chat like that. I love to learn things like that. And simultaneously, I love eggs. Eggs are the best. Big fan of eggs. Big fan. You've seen Penny Lane today, Penny? Penny Lane has gone in real life to Victoria Heuermann to call her demonic. That is what I mean when I say reactive. When I say, don't be reactive. That's what we don't do here. You know what I mean? We don't go on people's page to react to gossip. Now, if a big ass paper drops that said, hey, This is an official government document. This is a bail doc, and Rex killed people. And you want to go to Rex and call him a douchebag, by all means. But when we see information saying, hey, this family didn't fucking know and they're victims too, and chill out, they didn't do it, they weren't there, and the girl's a kid, don't hold a press conference with Post-its and flowers and old fucking whoever this guy is. Angel made a really funny joke the other day about how this chick looks like she just wandered in. She was there for yoga at the park. Love that. That was funny. This dude, I don't know who the fuck he is. Why is he there? But why is the button so high? What's up with this? What are you, demonic, sir? Why's your top button done? This ain't the Cheesecake Factory. Get out of here. It's got to be hard enough with your dad being arrested as a serial killer, and now this, right? Are we calling her Clarice? Oh, Clarice. Yeah, Lady in White is either the moral majority or looking for yoga in the park. That's what she said. That shit got me. That made me laugh so hard. Does anyone know if this was Rex's bio kid or step kid? So they're talking about Victoria. That's his biological daughter with Asa. The son, Chris, is older. He has autism, and that's from Asa's first marriage. Rex took over as a father figure. Everything that I have seen about him, he really, believe it or not, he did a lot with that kid. That there's a picture of him at the shooting range, and I do believe that is Chris with him when he was really little. It's really hard to get a kid to bond, at least from what I've heard from my friend whose kid who has autism. She's passed away since, but it's hard to get kids to bond with people that they don't know, or that kind of come into their space, or perhaps they have to live among someone else's space. That's a process for some kids with this. And it seems that Rex and him might have bonded pretty well in the beginning, but all reports are that he was pretty much always with Asa most of the time, and Victoria was his biological daughter. She was 14 or 13 at the time of his last kill and out of town. And yet people want to believe that she's out here torturing adult women at that time. Even though, again, the Secret Service, the FBI, the task force, Suffolk, everybody who is investigated, like the courts have put out legal documents saying, hey, they weren't there. They don't know shit. People are cherry picking and choosing to overlook that. But at the same time, the same people who found that out also found all the evidence against Rex, which these people are choosing to believe. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, if Victoria is his child or his stepchild or his half-child. It doesn't matter, because they were under his roof, and that seems to be where people are going, but what people forget is that those bodies were out of that house before they got back, and that is pretty obvious if you read the entirety of the documents. So yeah, she's his bio daughter. Oh honey, you're done again? Anyway, we're going to keep going. My dog's barking at me again, but we're going to keep going because I want to remind everyone what was said, because people keep saying, oh, they didn't say it. Yeah, we're going to, in case you had doubts as to what was insinuated, inferred, or directly said, this is what was said. Okay, so let's keep going.
Furries, to refer to pornographic content of anthropomorphic animal characters. Lilera, the account from which most of these images come, and it's an account which circulates disturbing images of gore, violent pornography, and other fetish content. The content creator describes themselves and their blog and their bio as a gore whore, with content warnings, self-described as extreme gore, hard vor, violence extreme, vor being cannibalistic imagery of a victim eaten alive. This is to quote the dictionary, the prey's flesh being ripped, chewed, or bitten, resulting in horrific injuries and often loss of life. According to a translator familiar with Scandinavian languages with whom we consulted, Victoria's account handle Vinan de Madtour may itself be an allusion to eating and consumption, a disturbing reference when considered in the context of the hard vor fetish content Victoria views and follows.
I'm going to take you through a few points. The rest of them speak for themselves. But if you don't mind, there are many pictures besides what I'm showing you that she's looked at that are equally as bad, if not worse. We just thought these.
You're off mic, John.
I'm off mic, so I got the shot.
Or you,
Because I'm gonna have to go to these.
you want to talk on the mic and then explain it? What do you?
Shall I just stay there and point? All right, I'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you talk on the mic and say which picture and then we
What
edit
you
the
say?
picture.
All right, fair enough. All right. I have to be able to see them. That's the trouble.
Do you want me to bring them to you?
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
yeah. The hanging one
You can hold them right behind them.
right there. Thank you. That's a good idea. Thanks. We chose these pictures because of the significance in relation to Rex Uerman as well as his daughter, Victoria. Take a look. It's people hanging. That's what she's looking at. But look particularly at this particular person hanging. There's a shoe missing.
Michelle, sorry. I try to turn it down when they're talking. Michelle, I will link the press conference below so that you guys can go back and watch it anytime you want. Yes, that is a Stephen Coitel piece. He's an artist on Facebook. He's being slandered too, by the way. All these artists are being slandered too, or defamed, or whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, you know, I realize some of this stuff might not be someone's cup of tea. They might see it as brutal, as disturbing. But again, this is the type of shit that ends up becoming the shows we all like. The shows like Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Hannibal. All the content that a lot of people consume in this realm of entertainment being, you know, not necessarily true crime, but stuff like zombie stuff and horror. If you're into that, that's what these creators become. They become the people who produce that content, and they're being linked to a serial killer right now. And their work is being misattributed. Now, I understand there are bigger beans to fry, which is not a phrase. But, you know, there's different shit to deal with. Obviously, we got to think of the victims first. In the actual murders done by Rex, the person who did them, not these insinuations about his daughter, these fantasies that she's somehow like him. Even though, again, she was a fucking child. We also have to consider, remember I told you, there's always multiple victims. I mean, it might not be like a victim like violent shit happening to them, but these artists' names are being smeared now by connecting them to these kills too, not just Victoria. It's crazy, right? Yeah. Cannibalism is ritualized in Christianity as holy. That is a fact. As is, you know, murdering people upon an altar. Killing prostitutes is actually literally in parts of the Bible. Like, I mean, we're not going to get into all that right now, but go read Timothy. You know, go read Leviticus if you want to see some sick, dark shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy here. At 14, I didn't question or snoop into my dad. He wasn't up to no good, but if he was, I would be in trouble if I asked to have a say-so. As a kid, you don't pry into a parent. Yeah, a lot of people were brought up in households like that. You know, I was brought up in a household where my mom let me do whatever I want as far as expressing myself artistically, but she also, reined me in when I wanted to do things that were not age appropriate, but my grandma was fucking brutal. Like she's a hardcore Catholic she had that sign that said children should be seen, not heard. She wouldn't let me put my elbows on the table. I'd get my ass chewed, He did make a mess and he brought other people into it. And again, I don't think Dr. Bacata knew what was being insinuated, not even insinuating. Like he straight up said this. Yes. And it's ironic. Walk Among the Tombstones. Great name. Kind of reminds me of And You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead. I mean, kind of reminds me of like this, again, the Karen Reed shit. There's literally an Elizabeth Proctor. There's a Proctor family doing a witch hunt. That is the literal plot of The Crucible. It's wild. Yeah, Michael Crichton, big true crime guy. Everybody loves him. Petty Mason. Cover of Coma. It reminded me of Kirkman and Moore comics. American Horror Story will make a Lisk season, I bet. I would bet. And these artists will have their payback. I hope so. Agree. Poor Victoria. Yeah, every medical examiner, mortician that ever, it's just wild. Yeah, this is all just... Who's the Stones chick in the back? You talking about Post-its? Well, according to one of our other viewers the other day, it's I believe she reported back, was it Renee? That this woman was just looking for yoga in the park and got lost. I think those Post-its were meant to be individually torn off of her with notes to remember which pictures were demonic or not. I don't understand that, the top. I really don't. I'm not trying to shame. It's just, what the fuck is that? Yeah, it's like an album or a book cover. Yeah, Puritan garb. I love that. Artwork's going to sky. I'd like to think we had that poll, but I hope so. I think that, people should go, like their stuff. Tell them, hey, don't take it down. Fuck these people. Support them, They don't know how to search the internet. I mean, we're doing it live. We're doing it live. Here, let me stop this screen because I'm going, oh my God, look at that Polish forehead. Look at that widow's peak. I'm always peeking at you. My boyfriend told me earlier, he's like, do you have a widow's peak? He never noticed it before. Let's go back to Vicky's stuff. You guys can see that okay? That's a good point. That looked like a Rolex. I could be wrong. Let's go back here. Let's keep looking at Vicky's because I want to, people are saying you weren't thorough. You didn't show everything. Well, I'm not taking you on an adventure up her colon, but for fuck's sake. 5 years ago, she posted foxes. She must be a murderer. When your homework becomes work, that's pretty cute. Look, she made a moving anime and there's a thing falling. Oh my God, a thing fell off and hit one of the victims in the head. This is the type of shit we're working with. This is the logic we're working with here. Let's look at the 4 notes. Okay, those are invisible. So likely what happened here is that they were just likes, or maybe the notes were mean and she had to take them down. Or here's another thing. Tumblr has here, I'm going to pull myself up in here so I can, oh shit. Here we go. Tumblr has a thing where if somebody else reports abuse, bullying, profanity, nudity, their policies changed a lot over the pandemic, actually. So it's just like, on Facebook or Twitter or anything else, you can report if someone's doing some hood rat shit. So if someone's out there threatening a homie in the streets, you could be like, yo, check this out. This fucked up. And Tumblr is actually, even to this day, pretty freaking good at taking it down. I think that because I did see some harassment and I thought it was on this anime, or animation. It looks like some good-hearted souls went out there and reported that shit. Which brings me to another point. Maybe Vicky didn't take things down. Maybe things got reported not from Vicky, or that had nothing to do with Vicky, and those things got taken down for other reasons. And you're going to see why I think that in a minute. Let's keep going. One person did have a comment about this on Twitter, and they were like, "It's vaginal, it's demonic." Well, she has a vagina, sir. Oh, look at the reindeer horns coming out. Are you freaking kidding me? This is literally 2018, and here's the cool part. We can see that Victoria used, Windows and Explorer, and these are the programs she used for her art. I don't see anything bad pulled up that matches any of the things that Rex had. Like, this is a girl who's doing art. Hi, I'm new. I found you from Duty Ron. I used to live on Proctor Street in Salem in Gallows Hill. Holy shit, Doctor on Call. That's awesome. So you know all about that stuff, right? You know about a witch hunt. You're a witch hunt expert in this cult. By the way, you're in a cult now. I'm your dad. Hello. Our cult does not have robes. We have metaphorical robes, but the good news is they have pockets. Everybody likes pockets. Get your pitchforks out. We're going to eat crawfish. That's the only time we're ever going to use pitchforks in this group is to eat seafood. Because some of it's hard to crack. She's super lost. That lady with the Post-its on her body. Remember Romy and Michelle's high school reunion? We invented Post-its. I think people forget art isn't always just literal, but hyperbolic or metaphoric. Sometimes it's just to provoke shock. Exactly. What do they say? Art is subjective. Literally. I don't see a vagina. I see a dog-like thingy. Okay. Maybe a little Boston Terrier there? Maybe that's my dog. Maybe that's the Hugin, the Mookies. Maybe that's him. It does. It looks like ears. It's pretty cool. It's not bad. Also, again, the era of foxes was a big thing. It's one of her foxes mirrored and rendered in 3D. It's not terrific, but it's not demonic. It's just an assignment. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense now. Oh, yeah. Maybe we should go down. There you go. Yeah, this makes sense now. See how just a little reading and thought and taking somebody else's comment and going, and then looking into it. See how now we know things. This is how we operate. This is how we operate. Is we learn. We always be learning. There are foxes, those Swedish backpacks, all the YouTubers doing Pinterest art in their bedrooms. Yes, yes. A lot of anime foxes, of the girl fox and the boy fox. You're going to see furry shit, but you're also just going to see general fox anime. That's a big thing. She does have enough to deal with, and people, they can go after her. Like, they made a whole press conference about it, Sherilyn. It is crazy. You see Green Man? You see Green Man from It's Always Sunny? My Nana and Papa live next door to Lori Cabot. She's an official Salem witch from... Thank you, Dukakis. I haven't seen a Dukakis yet. I have a Dukakis bumper sticker just because I think Dukakis is really funny. I thought his name was funny after watching Donnie Darko when they mentioned him in the beginning. So I bought a bumper sticker, an old one on eBay for $1 just because I thought it was hilarious. Just the name Dukakis. It looks like a bunny to you. Art is subjective, baby. Art is subjective. Petty thinks it's Green Man. Someone else says it's Jesse says fox. You're saying, well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a woman being murdered. A chocolate rabbit door knocker. I don't know what that is. Wouldn't that melt? I don't know. I'm in Texas. Maybe he's not only irresponsible, but also cruel. On the subject of Mr. Cruel, yeah, it's pretty cruel. He seems to know cruelty on an intimate level. Something's up. Yeah. Just like the Warshaw pics. It's really crazy. Like the stuff. Let's keep going. And look, there's notes under here. Clearly have been taken off. This is a fox. Oh my gosh. Starting up. They're on the computer. Ooh. It's loading. They're showing you it's loading. Oh, fox falls asleep. Daily compute. Windows has encountered an error. That's hilarious. She made a whole comic strip. There's no sound on it. Then she wakes up. Oh my gosh, it's finally done. Oh, fall asleep again. Nope, still not done. Look, this is all of us. She's just like us. She's here. This is me earlier when StreamYard shut down. This is literally me. I'm the fox. I'll tell you what, Cindy, you're absolutely right. Cindy with the comment of the year. It's not a furry butt plug. No, it's not. It's literally just a fox. It's not even a furry at this point. I mean, I suspected furry because she liked other creators that liked furries. But I mean, again, that doesn't make her a furry. I assumed that he was going to see that and draw the inference that she is. Which is why I think I said before I even saw the whole fucking thing or any of it. I believe I said, I bet he's going to bitch about furries. And guess what? And this is cool. I don't care who you are. This is dope. Oh my God, that's loud. Hold on. We'll never mind you. So I don't know. Almost my feet. It sounds like she did like an arty thing where she took the sound from the subway as she was on it, and then she overlaid it on top of two different filtered images, one color, one black and white, of the skyline at the subway with the ramp. And this is like the type of shit you'd see at the beginning of, again, Kids in the Hall, The Real World, maybe an SNL montage. This is that type of art. It's crazy. Look, she reblogged her own shit 2018. This is the last time we see her reblog something. So everything prior to that. And the thing is, everything that she reblogged from other creators, totally innocent, just like this. I went through all of it. What they did was, because she does follow a couple of people like Lilila Art and the one that with the skulls and stuff that everybody was that they were freaking out about, the exoskeleton count. She followed those people, but those people left Tumblr in 2018 and 2020 because what happened was Tumblr changed their policy. And they said, you're not allowed to have specific images. And if somebody reports them, then we're going to take your account down. And they froze those accounts. So they froze the accounts that she was following. And if you look back to their prior work while she was following them, none of that shit is shit that she reblogged. She reblogged the innocent shit from when they were on Tumblr and they weren't allowed to post demonic shit. So what they did, what John Ray and his little assistant did, was they ran to those artists' personal web pages and their other social media, jumped ahead 2 to 4 years in the future, pulled a post that had nothing to do with Victoria, and again, no connection. And then they put that on her. This troll who started an account, like the one I showed you that posted on the 4chan thing, had one that was very similar to hers and changed a letter. That guy went and liked everybody she liked. So chances are they saw that and saw him get his account deleted and said, oh, she must have deleted everything. But that was not her. And I showed y'all that. And it's really, and even if, and here's my point, even if, see, this is not 753 notes on Victoria. This is a reblog from Kayla Natu blog. Now, Kayla Na, if you go to her other new Tumblr, which Vicky did not add her on because Vicky stopped using Tumblr. This is when they stopped taking art or allowing art on Tumblr that was of specific varieties, and they were even flagging people as furries or as it being sexual when it wasn't. And this creator was pissed about it, and there was this whole movement like, Tumblr, you need to pay attention to us and get back to us. She reblogged that. But what they did was they then went to this person's page, which we're not going to go to because in the future, 2 to 3 years later, this person, Kayla, does post salacious shit, but Vicky's not there for it. But what they chose to do is they decided anything she reblogged is now free game for saying she supports this. This is hers. In my opinion, AP says, John Ray absolutely understands that Victoria was not involved, but he's deliberately hurting her to get to Rex. Furthermore, he's deliberately re-victimizing her for his own gain, which is obviously notoriety. Agree. It's a clout chase, dude. And not only that, like to the people saying, well, maybe the end game is he wants Rex to speak and this is going to help the victims. I'm sorry, but that's not up to him to decide who gets sacrificed to the masses. That's fucked up. You don't need to make more victims to get to the bottom of it. And again, I cannot stress enough, the police are investigating the family. You can't, or I should say, John cannot use that as an excuse. He's used it for too long. Well, we don't agree on two fundamental things, that Shanann was not a victim of Gilgo. I believe she was a victim. Okay, fair enough. What does that have to do with Vicky? She was 14. What does that have to do with Vicky? She was out of town. Then the second thing is that the family needs to be investigated further. They have been investigated. They are being investigated. What more do you fucking want? At that point, when he made those two statements at the beginning, that's when the press conference becomes moot. He is no longer on track. He's oblivious Benston. He's gone off and he's talked about other shit that he didn't intend to talk about. But here's the thing, he did. And that's what's disturbing, is like, why do that? And yes, re-victimization, that is what he's doing. It's fucked up, man. I don't like it. We should be celebrating this kind of imagination. Look at her. She's making all this cool stuff. First block out of the third scene. She's now put color on it. Now she's doing patterns, like for purses, for fashion, things like that. There are people who are going to say this is a map and it stands for bodies. No. This is a guy getting out. Where are you, honey? Oh, he's whining to his diddy. We're going to get off soon, because I need to go soak my dog's booty in oatmeal. Look at this scene shot. Like, this is literally the moment when your computer doesn't work. And all of this is innocent. I think we're going to do a Mr. Cruel thing. Here's where I want to go. We're going to do a Mr. Cruel thing later. But this is Vicky. This is her. This is the monster. This is crazy. This is really crazy. I do want to see the Boulay brothers in drag talking about this. This is a person sitting. This is something she did in 2016. The color draw. Here we go. This is, do you see how far back we have scrolled all the way to where John Ray decided this is the real Vicky? Out of all the pictures above of her art that were more recent, he chose to go back to this. And this is what he showed. But what he didn't show was this. Remember that skull? She was working on faces for class. Good job, John Ray. Don't show us any context. And guess what? That's where it ends. Let's go back to the press conference and play a little more.
Seems to be a fetish that was indulged in by Rex Heuermann, a fetish that is depicted and looked at by his daughter. That's a connection. Yep. Perhaps this is a stretch and perhaps not, but look at the hairstyle and consider Rex Heuermann's hairstyle. But this is a picture of a person who's hung. Remember that Rex Heuermann is using points to hang people. This person is hung and disemboweled with a knife that's in the picture. Yep. This appears to be the remains of a human being that looks half-eaten. Remember that Victoria Heuermann is on the internet reading words and looking at pictures that deal with hard vor. That is to say, cannibalism. If you look at the full color packet I gave you, there are other pictures in there that are so atrocious we didn't even put them
Yes,
up.
John Ray has a
Listen to what you see.
scrunchie.
Of people eating.
Glitter is forever. John Ray has a scrunchie on. That is a scrunchie that is a scrunchie.
Eating human flesh.
This is where he's insinuating cannibalism, by the way. Also not Vicky's art.
In this picture, if you look, it has a strange familiarity.
None of the victims were men. None of the victims were men. None of the victims that we know of were eaten. None of the victims we know were tied up at those specific points. This was not painted or created by Vicky. This was a reblog of a reblog from a creator that she liked 6 years ago who reblogged someone else's artwork. So this is 4 times removed from her. Again, she didn't even reblog specific art he's showing here. She reblogged creators who reblogged art that he's showing here. He points out that things are signed. They're not signed by Vicky. The one that is signed by Vicky is her Francis Bacon art piece. And again, if anything, from what my homie told me, it's an interpretation of teeth coming out of vagina because Francis Bacon might have been supposedly gay. And it was a part of this big statement. I've had other NYU art students come in the chat and say that people had to do inspiration pieces based on other artists or other people in the zeitgeist of the time that they are studying. I agree. A lot of people like that photo. You know why? Because it was in a famous show called Hannibal. This is misinformation. It absolutely is. Vicky, if you out there, girl, I got the screenshots for you. I really don't think it's fair. And none of this is a furry butt plug. Yeah, antlers. None of it's a furry butt plug. She absolutely could sue him and should sue him, Agatha Krusty, which is hilarious. Is that John Ray's wife? Oh, shit. No wonder she looks like that. She's all pilled the fuck out. Allegedly, supposedly, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. Up next, Vicky watched Sweeney Todd, the movie, blah, blah, blah. She knew exactly True Crime Chronicles. Also, do you have a podcast? Why are you called that? I like that. Everybody go look at True Crime Chronicles if so. If not, don't invade True Crime Chronicles space. But if so, go listen. Yeah, it's all crazy. Look at his face right now. I did not know this is why we were going to be here. Why is this lady standing next to me? Sue. He's reaching so damn far, he's about to fall off the platform. You feel me? She could sue him. She could sue the scrunchie right off of him. Is that his wife? I don't know. We're not here to spread rumors. But if it is, holy shit. Yes, thank you. Just started, says True Crime Chronicles. True Crime Chronicles, thank you for being here tonight. Everybody go support True Crime Chronicles. Although True Crime Chronicles, if you take on the goth community, we're gonna have to revoke support. I think that's great though. Start your own shit. I'll pip it here. Hey, John Ray's wife, snatch that scrunchie out of that, right? What is she? Behind every scrunchy man is a woman who's on bars just staring at a scrunchie. I don't know. This is allegedly, supposedly, for entertainment purposes only. I don't know why. I never did. Confession. I had questionable chats on ICQ back in the day. Judge me. Cindy, you did it. You're the reason this happened, Cindy. Seriously, y'all. This is wild. She is the executor of the Gilbert estate, I think. Damn, dude. Damn. All right, let's keep watching.
When you see it, because the torso shows that the arm is chopped off at the elbow. And the head is, of course, disconnected as well. And the body is being cut up into pieces, the hands, and so on. Who does that match? Jessica Taylor? Valerie Mack? slicing up as if it were for food. This is a picture of a female human body, completely disemboweled in the front, with her entrails hanging over her vagina and her legs chopped off. Some of the things that she was reading about, which I'm going to put before you in a moment, some of the things she's reading about was how when these bodies were disemboweled and cut up, the torturer would have sex with the openings, such as in the leg. That's what she's reading about. And then, yep. This is very interesting. Here is a woman. There is a woman who's completely garroted by the horns of a deer head.
I want to point out, he says there is a woman who is completely garroted. If you don't know what a garrote is, it's what happened to Jean-Benet Ramsey. It is a cord with 2 sticks on the end that people use to put around a throat to cut off their breathing passages. And then they use the wooden handles at the end to twist around to tighten it. She was not garroted. She was impaled, John. She was impaled. Wow. Look at that scrunchie. She's looking right at it. What a great spot to stop on. She is looking right at that scrunchie. No, you cannot, Jesse. Not in America. You cannot, or else you did it. Yes, you drew pics during anatomy class. Walk Among Us, so you did it. Rachel, you spoke out against this egregious behavior of John Ray, so you did it. Yeah, I mean, Carrie, I was trying not to say what we're all thinking, but I'll let you say it. Hey, listen, you guys read this comment and infer what you want from it. Garroted. The garroted artery. No. She got impaled by a deer. It is a bit of reefer madness, isn't it? Hello, tea and wildflowers. Off topic, but there's 2 guys in Oklahoma who gave people come from other states to be casual. Holy shit. Rock, we got to talk about that later. Thank you for telling me, though. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm going to have you on next week if you're down, maybe the end of this week. She is impaled, not garroted. Yep, he meant impaled. He said garroted. We got to be careful with these words when we're at a press conference, right? Didn't they eat them, Rock? Oh my God, that is some Oklahoma shit. Everybody, Rock Chalk, go like her channel. Go right now. She's covering everything Oklahoma, Kansas related. My God. No garrote, correct? That is impaled is what that was. He would shame you. You're a demonic flesh eater, Satan sandwich, and I'm afraid you did it. Yep. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep looking at this. We're almost done here. And yeah, let's keep seeing. Let's see what he says about Shannon, all right?
Which is a favorite theme in this book picture she's looking at, deer. They have to do with witchcraft. And you can see what's happened to the woman. But notice, there's a marsh in the background. And this woman is laying on her back, just as Shannon Gilbert was found. Make of that what you will. In your packet, the picture there is actually artwork produced by Victoria. If you look, there's this horrifying monster with blood eating on the breasts of this woman who has a furry butt plug hanging out the back. She produced this art.
It's a book picture. It's crazy too because they screenshot. Is that what it's screenshot? The Tumblr. It's wild.
Yeah, thanks. What text are you talking about? Yeah, okay, thank you. You'll notice in one of the other pictures, there's a room that looks like a basement with blood all over. Sound familiar? Does it match Massapequa Park? Quite possibly. Sorry? It's hard to repeat. This is a picture of what appears to be a basement with blood all over it. Remind you of the basement in Massapequa Park? I won't show them all. I don't need to. Body of a man with the arms and legs sliced off and chopped in half. Interesting. Take a look at the neck of this person being chopped up. The neck is not just pierced, it's cut open. Think about Shannon Gilbert and her hyoid bone.
Never did I think I'd live to see the day when a lawyer tells you to infer. Infer. Just go ahead and infer that my client is guilty, please. Just go ahead and infer that. Don't look at the evidence, just infer it. This is crazy. We're going to keep playing it a little more. I'll give you some final thoughts, a la Jerry, and then we'll get out of here. We're going to have to listen. This is classic OB, you guys. This is your dad being your dad. I'm just dad now, right now, and this is what I do. I fuck up and I talk too much about the first topic and I never get to the point, but, you know, keep watching. You'll see.
Here's what she's reading. Don't be scared because I said I wanted to crack open your chest and play in your blood. I'm not a scary person. Murder is very romantic. By the way, remember, her father is looking at the same items. If you don't learn how to pull hair properly, you can easily snap someone's neck. If your communication and self-insight isn't on fucking point, dark kinks easily just become self-harm or abuse. If you tie the rope without EMT shears in reach, you're trying irresponsibly. If you're playing with drowning or waterboarding, a 2-second fuck up can kill. The cannibal picture. Here they are feasting on human flesh.
By the way,
And there's a
there's no way to tell if she read that. And second of all, no, that's not. This is from the blog of someone who once had a Tumblr that at one point she followed. So she followed this Tumblr, right? And the person, the artist, who I'm not going to dox, but when you go to her Tumblr page, you can see it. I did actually show some of it the other day. That person, this is how far reaching this shit is, okay? That person used to make fox art, just like Victoria's, right? Back then, when that person just made fox art and anime, Victoria followed them on Tumblr. Victoria stopped using her Tumblr eventually around 2020. Then that person left Tumblr. Remember the one we saw earlier where they were like, no, I'm getting out of Tumblr. Fuck this. They don't let me show certain things I want to show, right? So that person went and made another blog where they reblogged, or it's not even a reblog. They just shared. It was an archive of art that person liked by different artists. One of them is Layla LaRae. One of them is Stephen Coydle. We went over them in part 1. That person made another blog outside of Tumblr where they would repost other people's art. So this is a person she added a long time ago, grew the fuck up, and years later started a different blog and reposted other people's art. And he is saying she read that.
The human flesh being
My
taken
dog is
apart for
fussy.
food. Reading. It's entitled Brutalized, brackets, Hot Sexy. Being drowned in a bathtub, bonus points if it's full blood. Throat bit and crushed in someone's teeth. Arm skinned and someone pulling on your tendons to force your fingers to move. Hands being stepped on and broken. Making out with mouths full of blood. Bonus points if it's your blood and you're forced to drink it.
So, according to John Ray, so the stuff he's getting that from is literally, again, the person I was talking about earlier. It was a person who who used to be followed by Victoria back when that artist made Fox art and anime. That person left that platform, started an archive of other artists, and that person shared a different artist. So a third artist. That person shared a post from a third artist, and that artist had this written under something. So this is not something Victoria ever read, nor could you prove it, in my opinion. But also, there is no proof that she read that. She did not reblog it. Those are not her words, and this is 3 times removed from her. So it's just so insane. Like, let me put this in perspective. And actually, I think we should wrap up now because I do have to go. And I think that Mr. Cruel, instead of doing an intro at the end of this, he needs his whole own episode. We're going to do it at a time where it's around 5 to 7 p.m. for you guys in Australia. But let's watch 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to explain the situation, okay?
Stabbed while in a crushing embrace that starts to break your ribs. Wrapped in electric barbed wire. High-powered shock collar and muzzle. Sedation. Enough to be in a dreamy haze while you're taken apart. Blindfolded, muzzle tied down while someone cuts you open and plays with your organs. Arms strapped down, multiple needles left in, full of drugs, while your killer explains the plans for your tonight as they prepare your body. Punched in the mouth, bruises, body cut up, played with, and left broken to die. And then the instruments. Just like the instruments described in what the district attorney released of Mr. Ewerman's work. These are posts that did she repost these? These are posts, circulated by blogs that she follows. Listen, yes, it's technically illegal to keep a person chained to the wall in your basement.
Guys, this just keeps getting worse. It's pissing me off. I wish we could blur out. You know what? I'll put a big flower in front of her face. It's really crazy, isn't it? It's really crazy. Yeah. And then he calls it work. Ugh. We got to wrap up here, though. I really got to go. I do think that Mr. Cruel deserves a lot of time and acknowledgement. And Mickey's, hold on. I'm going to take you outside right now. As does my dog. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take him back outside again. I'm going to keep playing this because he does say a few more fucked up things that kind of piss me off. I want your thoughts on it. And then we'll wrap up, okay? Here we go.
Use their holes, H-O-L-E-S, holes, whenever you please, and treat them as nothing but an object for your pleasure. But you're not a person, so what's the problem? These are sex toys. These are for sex, a bone saw. He had a collection of these items or similar items. Chains with points, hard points. He used hard points. He refers to it. The inside of my brain looks like this: a basement with a bed and blood all over it. Massapequa Park. Now take those things that I've just shown you, and let me read you this first, and then I have something else I want to tell you.
Are they quotes from her?
These are quotes from what she's reading, okay? By the way, we don't have more than what I'm showing you for one very good reason. We have found that it appears that she erased all of her sites that she had.
It appears that she erased all of the sites that she had, he says. I just showed you those sites. They're up and running, you guys. They're up and running. Her Tumblr was not erased. The troll one that they likely pulled half this from, because again, the only connections that I could find are that she followed like 3 or 4 artists in 2018, and those people left the platform. Literally, what you saw as we scroll down, that is her entire Tumblr from the beginning. So, like, it's really crazy to me that this guy is still harping on this and making a huge deal out of it. It's already a stretch. Glitter is forever. Listen, I'm sure I have that scrunchie somewhere, or at least a seafoam green version. Okay, but let me ask you a question. Would you wear it if the rubber band ripped and you had to do a press conference about one of the most vicious and horrific cases in the century involving a serial killer, and you're trying to push a specific agenda to help who you think is a potential victim? Would you wear that scrunchie with that suit? I don't think you would. Unless yours is a newer one. See? No, absolutely not. Fuck, I really wanted to get to Mr. Cruel today. Actually, my dog was being fussy earlier specifically because I gave him some little chicken nibbies, and he got him stuck in a toy, and he couldn't get him out, and then he had to pee. He's just all over the map, just like his mummy. But yeah, it's overzealous, it's evangelical, it's crazy, it is absolutely a damn shame. And I agree with you, T. He's in the past, yes. I would even say now he's still like, I don't know, it's hard to say now, but like there comes a point where people get so stuck onto an idea or married to it, and eventually if they find out it's not what they thought, they cannot adjust it in their brain. And they would sooner go with it or try to prove it despite the evidence than to catch up with the times, than to change their mind or, God forbid, be seen as wrong. You know what would make me really, thank you very much, Glitter. You know what would really make me respect John Ray to the highest level I possibly could, which, you know, who the fuck am I? Who cares if he respects me? He shouldn't care if I respect him or not. He needs to earn the respect of his clients, his family, his friends, the people in his community. I'm just fucking nobody. But I'm telling you, if he wants to earn that back, the best thing he could possibly do is be like, listen, I fell asunder to some bullshit. I blame Flower Girl. Toss her ass under the bus. Shit, I'd respect him for that. I apologize for Post-its looking unenthused. And I apologize to Dr. Gary Bricada for dragging his ass through the mud. My bad, Vicky. My bad. I'm sorry. That's it. That's all he has to do. And really, I mean, that's just for if he wants Vicky to forgive him. If he wants, there's a lot of other people who are like, nope, the damage is done. Fuck that. That's not cool. I'm done. You know? He's making my blood pressure go up. He made my dog fussy. Hey, thank you, Midwest Nice. Yeah, it's wild. I have 4 more hairs. Yes, Rose. Shit. Infer what you want from that. And remember, True Crime Chronicles, everybody. Go check that out. That's starting up, apparently. Let's check it out. I didn't Polish goodbye you. Dad hasn't left for cigarettes yet. Dad just wants to show you a little more because some of you, one's in the chat if you never saw this press conference before the stream. I'm curious how many people didn't see it. Very curious. Let's hit play. Let's hit play. Where is it?
All of her social media, she just missed these ones. And her mother, we tried to get her mother's similarly, all erased. Except for Twitter. Now, the district attorney himself makes a list.
I just want to be clear. He said all of her socials are erased except for Twitter. And right here, let's stop the screen and let's represent. All of her Twitter, all of her social medias were erased except for Twitter. John Ray just said that, right? Did I eat a brain tumor for breakfast? Am I concussed right now? Did you hear that? That's what I heard. All of her social media has been taken down except for her Twitter. What is this then? This is her Tumblr, sir. Lies. It's just fucking lies. It's crazy. It's crazy, you guys. A Polish goodbye is different from an Irish goodbye because we say bye, but we don't listen to hear any response back. We just go bye and then we take off. You are pretty. All of my children are pretty. Yeah, the mother's on social media, right? Like, it's just really crazy. Yeah, they're putting goths, BDSM, furries, everybody into the mental health stereotype. It's really crazy. I mean, what mental health stereotype is it when you wear a fucking rose gold scrunchie with a busted rubber band to a press conference? It's really crazy. Anyway. Yeah. I think he's lost a lot of respect, and it's just hard to see him double down. Oh, nope, we're not going to talk shit about boomers. They're not all like that. If you mean it in the sassiest of ways, and you're not applying it to boomers in the chat, then we'll allow it. But he does not represent all boomers. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, Goths in the chat, speak up. Speak up for your sister. It's ScrunchieGate. It's ScrunchieGate. It's ScrunchieGate. Scrunchies are great. He's fucking them up for me, you guys. I don't like it. Anyway, I just wanted to show you some of that stuff. We're gonna do Mr. Cruel tomorrow. It deserves a ton of attention. It deserves a ton more than I can give it tonight. We're almost 3 hours. I cannot believe we went this long. But I wanted to show you all of this. And was he relying on flowers to get him? He made it sound like that. I mean, not made it sound. He said that. He said that at the beginning when he introduced her, and then he said it after. So yeah. And if you want to go watch this, I'm going to put a link below. We gotta make Scrunchies great again, you guys. ScrunchieGate. Holla, ScrunchieGate. He is Delulu. Boomer is in the funny way, not in the yacht rock way. I appreciate that. Flowers did troll him. Do we stand Flowers or are we against Flowers? If Flowers was being a sneaky Snoopy dupa, it's still an asshole move because it put Vicky on blast. Rock, my child, you're my favorite. Don't tell the others. But listen, I'm going to go watch you. I love that analogy too. I love all of your analogies. I love all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And listen to my Aussies in the chat. First of all, Kel, how dare you? You don't ask stupid questions. There are no stupid questions. There's just stupid fucking press conferences. You understand? You didn't do anything wrong. Thank you for your hard work. And listen, tumble on, people. Be goth. Listen to what you want. You want to throw knives at a tree? I'm not going to judge you. You into voodoo? Teach me. I'm still soliciting Frasier manifestos, for fuck's sake. But I do think Mr. Cruel is a rich subject, and I promised the Aussies in the chat and the Ned Zetters in the chat that we would do something in their time zone. I can't think of something more appropriate. So what I may do is we'll do a day cast and then a night cast maybe tomorrow or the next day. But we're going to be talking about Mr. Cruel soon. This will give you a chance to go look him up. Go look that shit up. America's got some scary serial killers, but I think that I mean, someone that's very, very close to a lot of the ones that we have here, like as far as behaviorally, Mr. Cruel. There's a guy, what was his name? The Bodie Beach. R word. Yeah, there's a lot. Who would play Scrunchie in a movie? Shit, me. Put on a velvet dress, clam up. Come on, let me sit on John Ray's head. Sorry, this is weird. Yeah, we're going to talk about Mr. Cruel later. Don't worry, to my Aussies and my Ned Zetters. We're going to come back to this like tomorrow or the next day because we need to talk about this. And ScrunchieGate continues and lives. Thank you all for joining me. Just remember, leave the witches alone. Leave the goths alone. It's okay to have a scrunchie, but make sure it's not stained and the shit's not broken if you're going to go in public and accuse people. And watch Auntie Deb and watch Little Bubby Child if you want to see some funny shit. Some good palate cleansers, if you will. Thank you, my children. Thank you. I love you all. You're the best. If you want to, let me see, where is it? Oh yeah, I'm going to put all of the links to everything in the video below. I did get a Cash App for those of you who hate the corporate overlords at every single app. I do have an email. It's right here. I'll put all this info below. And if you liked watching Jay last week, go follow Jay's channel, Guilty of Crime. Bless you all. I love you all. Thank you so much. This has been a great time. We'll talk more about this shit later. But you're the best. Be safe and stay nosy. Good night.